Everybody. I seriously have questions. I have questions tonight. I do have questions, and I want to hear from the WASIs. I want to hear from, in fact, I think I saw Miss Spencer on here. Not Spencer. Let me go up here. Um, I need to understand what's going on here. I'm having a little bit of deja vu. So I've just got to corral my sisters. Um,
Hello.
hey, can you find a way to get Janet in? I don't know how
Say what now, sweetie?
Can you find a way to bring Janet in? I sent it to her via email. I sent you a link. Do you think you can text the link I sent you? I don't know how once I open all this stuff up, I can't close it to run this in one person. And I was good enough to reach out to people this morning. It wasn't like 10 minutes ago. So, can you see if you can get her the info? I now have about a total of about 20 people.
Oh,
And
you're already on?
oh, yes, I said 8 o'clock. But I'll be coming on, Eve will come in at 9. So it's like 8:15 or something. So people waiting, and oh my God. So let me see. Hey,
Okay.
Man
Because I'm
King.
just getting back home, so
Yeah,
give me about an hour, too.
at least still reach out to Janet. Uh,
I'll reach out to her as soon as I
okay,
walk
all
in.
this
So let
fine.
me get in. I'll probably be on in about 30 minutes. Just let me get my food. No, let me eat first, and
Okay,
then I'll,
wonderful.
yeah.
All right.
I didn't even realize it was 7 o'clock already.
Okay.
I'll hurry,
All
but
right.
I'll send it to Janet.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. That's I won't make another call. So everyone, and I don't know what's going on with this. Ever since I've been doing this, the Wi-Fi and all the signals go down. But anyway, we need to have this discussion. And oh my God, this Sister Keisha, you should be a guest because uh, I have some questions tonight. I mean, in the news and everything else, what's concerning me, and why the one topic I had, are black women still ride and die for Biden? I'm incredibly angry to see two black girls blown up in Syria, Jordan, whatever. And the reason I had to have this discussion today is that in the case of what's happening with Vietnam, this is like Vietnam for me. I want to say to you, yes, he's a sicko freak, Lorenzetta. I don't like Biden at all. Look, people, those two girls, I turned 59 a week from today, and those girls in their 20s, I'm old enough to be almost their grandfather. How in the hell do you have baby black girls blown up overseas for this piece of shit, do nothing, pedophile, deviant, liar, grifter, Biden? And what nobody's saying to you, my people, is that if they killed three blacks because it hit the sleeping quarters of the soldiers, how did it hit just the three blacks unless most of the people there on the ground are black? They are slaughtering and allowing black babies, and sometimes there's soldiers. The man was 47, but those were babies that they blew up, and I'm incredibly angry. Uh, and I need people like you, Sister Keisha. I'm not hearing anybody express outrage that the first people to die in this bullshit are black children, black female children. That's an affront to me as a black man. What the hell are they doing there? And you've got this esterol looking nigga that runs the Defense Department, Austin, this bastard who can't even handle being sick himself. How can he be head of the armed services of his country? He can't even handle sick leave. This is absolutely insane. And they've been bombing and blowing up those people for months, and we haven't seen any pictures of the people who have long term damage to their brains and everything else from being bombed there. It's only because they killed those girls and that man, only because they died, we get to see who it is that they've got out there. National Guard. They should be at this goddamn border keeping these illegals out. What the hell are they doing? Dying for Israel. It's a goddamn disgrace that bitch Joy Reid, that bitch Oprah Winfrey, that bitch Roland Martin, the men are bitches too. Now with the gender dysphoria, everybody's a bitch. I may as well be one, but I'm a good bitch. I'm a proud black, stand up for my people bitch. We're finished as a people if they can send our girls off to be murdered. There's a girl over in Iraq. Her name will come to me. She got raped and shot in the head by a white officer or something like, and they've covered it up. She's from St. Louis. They tried to tell the family that the girl had she had VD. That's why she killed herself. You know, it's called MST, military sexual trauma. At least 19 to 20,000 women get raped in the U.S. military every year. That's an average number. Black women are about a third of the women in the military, which means black women are getting a lot of raping going on. Maybe that's why they won't reform it, because they feel entitled to it. I want to, I gotta look this girl's name up. The girl whose father used to talk to, who was executed after raped and then executed in Iraq, and they've done nothing about it. It's been close to 20 years. Um, Killed. I'm gonna get her name. And when you talk to black folks, you have to constantly remember everything, unless they're super famous. No, no. They talked about this girl. Um, and it'll say suicide in Iraq. I have to say, I have to look under the false thing that happened. The name will come to me. Um, and I'm looking, and if you're from, her name is Lavina Johnson. Uh, she died July 19th, 2005. It's 19 years ago. It's 20 years ago. You know, Sister Keisha, you know how it is when black folk get killed. You have to try to remember their names because we don't talk about it. We're on some sexy red, some Usher, some little Nas X bullshit instead of what's really happening. And it's absolutely outrageous. Lavina Johnson was a young, let me just tell you her age. and it's a white officer who raped her and shot her in the head, and they agreed to call it a suicide. This happened a while ago. She was killed just before days, wow, a week before her 20th birthday. 30 other people were injured. You're not seeing that. And this isn't the first time. They've fired and bombed these remote places 160 times. And they won't bring the soldiers out. The Iraqis want them out. The stuff doesn't belong in Syria. We have no business. You know why they have this stuff in Syria? Because the military, the United States military is one of the largest consumer of oil in the world. So they're stealing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of oil from the government of Syria to give to Israel. So for all this talk about how viable and how great Israel is existing off of oil stolen from Syria. You wonder why the people are mad. You steal their stuff and they can't get mad at you. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. Um, but I want to say to you that at the same rate that they're cutting, black veterans are being put out in the streets for illegals. They're sending unprepared National Guardsmen, people who just want money to go to college, or they're from one of these underdeveloped places in the rural South. They go into the military as a way up. They're not prepared. How many other people? I have a friend, a young friend in the National Guard. They send these people all over the place. They have no business sending them. And they'll get them killed. And by the way, all the good shit has been given to the Ukrainians and the Israelis. And they're going to leave our black kids out there to be slaughtered. And you're not going to hear fucking peep from any of these people that you consider a black leader. Where the hell is that bitch nigger from New York? Yeah, I called you a bitch nigger. Um, you know, Sister Keisha, um, the speaker, the House minority leader, it's a black person from New York. You're not hearing nothing. You're not hearing anything from anyone. And you're not going to hear anything from Austin. Look at him. He looks like something's wrong with him. Uh, I opened up my platform. I'm just a little teeny tiny person. There are other folks, I'm going to say this to you. They have huge platforms. They have hundreds of thousands of followers, large numbers of them black women that subsidize these other platforms. And when stuff like this, human trafficking, things that really destroy black women, yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, I hope he's just a bootleg. All these other platforms should be empowering people with news. And like I said, no one's saying how many of those people wounded were black. How many of them were black and female? How many? How many of these girls are never going to be able to be mothers? Hmm? And how many of them are going to get fucked over by by what's that damn place when you're in the military? You come back, the Veterans Administration. They get. I mean, my adopted uncle, my god sister, last year, no, the year before last, right after Thanksgiving, no, just before Thanksgiving, was at my god sister's house in St. Louis, and her brother died when I was with her. He had shrapnel inside of him going all the way back to the 1960s. The VA never ever told him he had all of this shrapnel from a landmine he stepped on in Vietnam. They left it inside of him. He had damage from malaria. They never treated it. He had all of these health problems. The VA let this man be sick for years. My uncle, my father's brother, had Agent Orange poisoning that made him crazy. His personality would change. Never got to know him well. I mean, just and had to have amputation. You got diabetes. This Agent Orange messed all these people up, man. And now they have all of these young black. I mean, it dogged the men. What the hell is it going to do to the women over there? What are they going to be exposed to? And see, I want to say something to y'all. 1/3 of the people in Yemen, definitely or more, are black. Okay, they're sending our people over there to fight for bigoted Israelis while we get overrun by bigoted people from other countries, even the Middle East. I want to hear from somebody, talk to me. I'm concerned. And I want to remind you, a lot of you forget, when the USS Cole got bombed, several of the people blown up on the USS Cole were black females. I remember, it's been 20 years. Nice looking, I mean, of course I remember that I'm a man. It's nice looking black women blown up, just blowed up. Nobody even talks about this. Just bombed, destroyed. Damn. How many others? There have been quite a few casualties. How many of those are folks who thought they would just be monitoring drones and so forth? They didn't think they're going to be in a war zone. I don't know if someone wrote down this is Biden's Benghazi, right? I want to say to you, I was in Libya just before the attack happened in Benghazi. And yeah, thank you, Torrance Jarrell, for Lavina Johnson. Yeah, I'm looking at this. And the U.S. is overextended. The United States can't put more than 100,000 soldiers on the ground because they're in 196 places. I mean, there are hundreds of U.S. bases. It's overextended, and this bastard Biden and his nigger Lloyd Austin have pushed all of this mandated medication that's destroyed our military. Our military has been destroyed or I should say, the white American military that has some blacks in it has been destroyed. The people's health has been destroyed by following military regulations. Now they're trying to get the people back into the military who refused to be under mandated medicine. Now they're willing to bring them back and pardon them and take all the negative ratings and all the dishonorable discharge stuff off of them. They need bodies so badly. They need them so badly, they'll sacrifice our black girls. If that doesn't make every single solitary black man on this angry, you are a faggot, sir. A despicable one. Somebody that should have a pike stuffed up inside of you. If you think it's all right for our girls to be sacrificed because you have fuck ups in the Pentagon, fuck ups in the White House, fuck ups in the CBC. And so you sacrifice these girls. And the only thing you can offer them is that you'll make certain that they can kill a baby. It's an insane thing that they're offering government jobs to illegals in this country, and our kids have to go off and die somewhere, especially our girls. And I'm gonna tell you, you ain't much of a goddamn man if you don't get mad when someone's doing something to our girls. Is it enough that they're trafficked disproportionately in this country? For some of you who can't even afford a damn inflatable doll girlfriend, so you need to look at somebody's tats and boobs and behind. So we have this slavery for black women who need employment, or they have to go over in the military unprepared in a theater of war. Come on. Somebody talk back to me. Tell me that that ain't insane. I gotta hold it in there. Talk to me. Talk to me. How many more? They're lying about the casualties. The Israelis are lying about how many people they're losing in Gaza. How many have they sent black girls to die in Ukraine? Have they? You think they won't send them there? You think that that little deviant with his coke-headed, crooked son, that they won't waste our people? It's nothing but slavery with some jacked up benefits from the VA. They can lower the physical fitness requirements, but the other side may not lower theirs. The Israelis are getting their asses handed to them from Hamas. What the hell do you think will happen if this stupid ass Biden gets us into a war with Hezbollah and all these other groups that have been fighting for the last 30 years, 40 years? Hezbollah was fighting when I was in grad school in the 80s. Let me see. The people in Lebanon have been fighting since 1975. That's 25 plus 24, 49 years. If you think that just some green ass people are going to be able to police their asses, nope. Syrians have been having a violent civil war since 2012. What's that? 12 years of warfare. The Iraqis have been fighting off and on since like 1990. So it's at 10. Woo! Damn. Sit down. Wait. 91. Damn. 33 years of warfare. The Iranians have been fighting off and on since 1979. The 79 says 21. Ooh, that's 5. Ooh, 45 years of fighting. You really think we're ready for that? Do you? Do you think this brother Frank Fairfax is saying the National Guard shouldn't be there, Army Reserve should be there, or regular Army. But if they don't have that, then they're going to send us over there. And let me tell you something dirty about the military that nobody will tell you. When it's time for you to leave the military, they have you sign this paperwork. And if you don't take the time to read it, they're not going to point out to you that if you don't fill the paperwork in just right, you waive getting your college scholarship money. A lot of our folks go into the military as a means to get scholarship money and don't fill in the paperwork properly, and they don't get the scholarship. They risk their lives to be able to improve their lives, and they get cheated. We need to be like white people. I wish black people would imitate white people in the proper ways. What black people should be doing is learning how to use weapons to defend your home, to fight for you. Some of these folks have better weapons in the army in their household than what those folks had over in Syria. It's real ass talk. And by the way, all of the weapons that we've subsidized that have gone to the Ukrainians have been selling to the Iraqis, the Syrians, and the Iranians. And the Afghans have too. They're using state of the art shit that we paid for when we can't get reparations or an anti-black hate bill or a rein in the goddamn fascist killer cops. Let's just talk about that shit for a minute. Those illegals beat that cop's ass in New York and lived to talk about it. You and I know had a policeman started a fight with the black grandmother and she resisted, they would have murdered her, shot her 20 times in self defense, that would have been okay. If you don't understand that they're working to make us a permanent slave underclass to these damn illegals, they know all about how these illegals treat us in South and Central America. Um, this is a problem. And if you let it happen to your women, black men, your ass is gone. Let me talk a little bit about warfare as done by Anglos. It's something that we don't talk about, in fact, because we fixate too much on this fucker named Martin Luther King. Yeah, I call him a fucker. For right now, he's a fucker. All this peace talk and love talk, to me, if we're going to have any love, it needs to start for one another. Then we can like others. Mind you, I never said hate anybody else, but it seems like love should start amongst us and then spread outward, right? So let's just say this. Because we don't study warfare, because you have so many people talking about coalitions and intersectionality and all that kind of stuff, those guys who beat that cop's ass weren't being intersectional. They didn't want to get along or have shared narratives of oppression. They beat his ass and are not sorry for it. And they're walking freer than Frederick Douglass. The way that the Anglo-Saxon, or should say white American, white British people, and to a large degree the French as well, and there's a whole lot of overlap between English and French, just in case you don't know, and the Italians too. These people, when they fight warfare, tend to kill civilian populations. They don't fight armies because the men want to live. They don't fight armies. If you look at the warfare that the white people had against the Indians, you kill off the buffalo, you attack peaceful villages. The Israelis did the same thing to the Palestinians in the Nakba. I'm not saying anything that you can't look up. The attacks, even in America, attack blacks who are unarmed during Reconstruction. When the United States fought Germany, mostly what they did was they murdered the German population through terror bombings. They didn't fight German armies. We had one really big battle in World War II on the Western Front, which was the Battle of the Bulge, and we nearly lost that, and Germany was mostly exhausted. America doesn't fight. The white American male, the Anglo-American, does not fight another army. He attacks the civilians and does genocide on the general population as a means to make the men in the group, out of mercy for their women and children, stop fighting to prevent genocide. There is no honor. They don't want to fight another group of people armed. This is why they work so hard to prevent, say, North Korea or Iran or other countries from having more advanced weaponry, because they'd be able to kill in equal proportion. The white man, on one hand, teaches you that he's God and he's this, that, and the other, but he hedges his bet. He wants to make certain that your technology never catches up to him. So he always has the greater ability to kill your population if you don't like how he gets down. This is what has happened. This is how they do stuff. This is so you push abortion. Um, the police don't mess with the black gangsters. Not that they'll kill some person that's not even trying to fight them. They don't want a real fight because they could lose. They want a genocide, like the Israelis. They don't really want to go. What the Israelis want is to get America to fight for them. Part of the Israeli uniform, in case you don't know, is depends, because the guys pee on themselves. Now you're starving the people, no electricity, no water, no food, nothing. And you still got depends on, because they're not willing to die for their lives of superiority, for their sense that they're better than everybody else. Okay, I don't think I'm superior to anybody else. I think I'm a human being made by God, as is everybody else, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. But these people tell you we're superior, we're this, we're that, and we're better than you are. But when it comes to real competition or conflict, they blink, and they do it in warfare. Fundamentally, they're terrified. The Yemenis being able to attack U.S. ships in the Red Sea, Bab al Mandab, which is the coastal choke point on the Red Sea, there's nothing that America can do with those people who don't mind fighting and dying. The United States has been killing Yemenis since 2015 through proxies. So they don't mind fighting. And trust me, if they send American soldiers they're going to kill them. The British got run out of Yemen when the Yemenis didn't have good stuff. The Yemenis have great shit now. America, unless they're going to start using nuclear weapons, and the question has to be, what if a country drops a nuclear bomb on the United States? The North Koreans are letting you know that, and by the way, the North Koreans and the Iranians, they're cool. If you didn't see, within the last week or so, the Iranians had all this stuff up in the space. If the Iranians put their space technology with the Koreans, North Koreans, nuclear technology, it's all over. They'll be able to bomb with hypersonic missiles, blow up anything they want anywhere in the world. We're at a point now where there's a limitation point, a red line has been crossed in white supremacist civilization, where you can't kick everybody's ass like you once could. And in fact, they've made people so mad, people don't mind dying. The only people afraid of dying are actually the black elite in this country and the supremacist. So, what I'm saying to you, we're at a point. Oh, one of the WASIs is here. Hello, Black Rose. How are you, Sister WASI?
I'm well, brother. I'm very well, thank you.
Did you notify J8? Can you get her contact so she can come in
I sent it, so hopefully
by text?
I did. I sent it by text. So if you just give me a moment and let me try to assist her to make sure we can bring her in.
Okay.
Let's see
That's
if she
Black
can see it.
Rose from Texas. I'm looking to see who else I can get to come in. Let me come back to the comments, and pretty soon Sister Eve will be with us, and that's going to be quite interesting. For everybody right here on this platform, I may close this because I don't know, this Wi-Fi signal is something else. But this country bombed the shit out of the Koreans in the Korean War. Vietnam, they bombed people. Iraq, they bombed people. Libya, they bombed people. The main way of warfare has been to use air power. They bombed the hell out of the Japanese, the 2 nuclear bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There has been an aversion to, I shed your blood, you can't shed mine. Now, I'm not for anyone shedding anyone's blood, but that's what you have with these empires. And I'm not saying any empire is less bloody than the other, but that's what you're dealing with. A red line's crossed. And I want to remind people the whole idea of a nuclear bomb, that is, first and foremost, the nuclear bomb was completed 80 years ago in 1944. 80 years ago. So, and they were working on it before that. So the possibility of there being a nuclear bomb, if people really wanted to work on it, has existed since the late 1930s. How long will one group of people be able to have this ability to kill other people with impunity before that technology goes to other people to say, I want to kill you too? Are you understanding me? Meaning that America had an ability to kill a lot of other people. And initially, nobody else had the bomb, and then the Russians had it, and then the British had it, and the French had it, and then the Chinese had it, and the Indians have it, and Pakistan is a broke-ass country, a crazy broke-ass Islamic country. What if they got a little bit of money from someplace? Like, this is what the United States has to worry about. If they give Iran its money back, the 70 or $100 billion that they've stolen from the Iranians, what if the Iranians gave some of that to Pakistan for some nuclear information? And what the Israelis, with American assistance and British, have been killing the Iranian scientists because they don't want other people to be able to say, I'll drop a bomb on you. It's a kind of stupid way to go through life. Always saying, I'll destroy you. Why can't we figure out something else? And I'm not saying it's going to, because people want other people's resources that they don't pay for. They want power. They want to be global bullies. But what happens when other people don't give a goddamn and they have the ability to kill you the same way you could kill them? We're going into the most terrifying era of Western European history right now, because for the last 400 or 500 years, basically technology and warfare has mostly been in the favor of European people. That's changing. In fact, the only thing really allowing this really crazy behavior to go on is that most people really don't want to fight anybody. It seems as if the people who are the biggest bastards, the bloodthirsty people, are the ones who've been stealing from everyone else. What happens if the people who are getting robbed decide, well, I don't want to coexist. I just want to hate like you hate. Okay? I want to be a mass killer. Many years ago, a young man was on Facebook. They're very clear, and they wanted to I guess, express their anger at the society. And this guy, I tried to talk to him, not to tell him not to be angry about what's going on, but uh, I don't know if just going out and shooting people, just randomly shooting people, that just, you can't make me think that that's the way things change. If you're shooting in defense or to stop or to offensive move to that may make, but to just go out and off some people isn't it, it's anyway. That young man went out and shot 3 police. Ah, that was terrible. uh Another person sent me an email. I didn't know what to make of it. I tried to ask people, what does this mean? And the guy goes to the Navy Yard and shoots a bunch of people. One of the people that he killed was a woman I knew from church. Blew the woman away, just as nice as she wanted to be. So I get this thing, just this idea of shooting people doesn't necessarily solve anything if you're not doing it with the purpose to fight for what's good or what's right or to defend it. You're just adding to the problem. You're making it worse. So I'm not advocating that anybody do anything to anybody. However, a society, a system that thrives on hurting others, dominating others, killing others, violating others, taking other people's resources, bullying them, dispossessing them. Every empire that goes through that cycle eventually either collapses from within, like what we're seeing at this damn border, or that country gets or empire gets into a war with a group of people who have what's called fire in the belly, who just don't give a damn. They're going to fight. And fire in the belly, when you have a mind to resist, you don't care what happens. You don't care what's done to you. Your house burned down, you're still going to fight. If you have greater fire in the belly than the people that are being sent in to fight you, and especially if you have any kind of technology where you can resist, which Hamas has, then they stand a chance of either fighting to a draw or doing an upset on the people with superior numbers and everything else. I don't know if you're looking, but I challenge you to go to some of these websites. There was a little guy, a man in Gaza, dressed almost like Batman, going around with an RPG tube, blowing up Israeli tanks, like he was at at a shooting gallery at a fair, blowing up tanks, which had Israelis inside of it. They may do genocide on the people in Gaza, but they're not going to beat these Hamas people. They're not going to wipe them out. That's never going to happen. And I'm saying, if Hamas can't get wiped out, they can't do a damn thing with Hezbollah. And they can't do anything with the people in Iraq who are mad about all the people and they definitely can't do anything with Yemen, and they can't do anything with Iran. And sending little girls and little boys over there, National Guard people that they have no business sending there, is not going to make much of a difference. And if they're going to have to force people, if they have a draft in America, oh my God. Let me just say to you, for those of you who don't remember Vietnam, I sure do. I was at the big march with the 500,000 people in 1969. Hell no, we won't go. The moratorium thing. My people, if you think that white Americans are going to let their kids be murdered overseas by the U.S. military, you haven't begun. I'm telling you, your
It's not
folks, if
gonna.
you think that they're going to be able to send their children over to the Middle East, if you think they're pissed about the border, talk about taking somebody's kids and drafting them for Biden, who was never elected. It's a fraud. I don't give a damn about
Woo!
any one of you. Donald
Thanks.
Trump won that shit. In fact, I wish I could have voted illegally 100 million times for Donald Trump. So I'm here to fire this up. It's closing in on the 9 o'clock time, so we can have the WASIs come in. And I'm just saying, no, Donald Trump won. Donald Trump's being considered for a peace prize. And my question is, do black women, are black women still ride and die for Biden with all this stuff going on?
No.
I mean, God damn Biden. God damn him. God damn Biden. And God damn all the black people that voted for him. And God damn the ones at MSNBC, that bitch Joy Reid. She needs to take that gorilla looking wig off of her head. She looks like an orangutan with the blonde wig on. Her, a despicable Roland Martin who looks like a meatball with clothes on. Damn it. Don't y'all see what's going on? Okay, now, I hope y'all good and mad. And I want to say this before we go anywhere. The people that have me most excited are the 40,000 white men truckers that went down to their goddamn border. We're
Amen.
the ones being destroyed by the illegals, and it's the white men went down. Damn, they're protecting us. So right now, I know there's racism in the country, lots of it, but I am not mad at the damn patriots. I would much rather them be at the gates of Mexico than up at the Capitol. And I was there at the Capitol, and they stole my video. They had buses of people that they brought up to create problems on the Capitol. One of those buses nearly crushed me and my friends in the car on January 6th, or whenever the hell that thing happened. And I'm telling y'all, this whole thing, we've been played. The CIA is messing with the news. All of this stuff is a lie. Trump won. And I'm going to say this to all the Biden ride or die sisters pork chops out there. Those folks angry enough to go to the border to defend this country, if our sisters become the face of they become the face of this Biden coup against the American constitutional government, a lot of you sisters are going to pay like hell. And I'm going to tell you something. If I saw a redneck beating a sister's ass on who had a Biden t-shirt, I'd keep walking. Um, the same way we don't like white people getting in our stuff, why the hell are we getting in a fight between white people? Shouldn't we extend them the privacy that they need to solve their business? And the ones at the border, they're my heroes. I don't care. There's fentanyl everywhere. One block from my home, they break into people's cars. There are all these people up here. They're doing stuff, stealing stuff, stealing all the cars from one block. This is the stuff that's happened since this bastard Biden came to town. So I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody says. So my question I have, Madam Minister of Space, which is 2MS, is her code name. Lady H, Sister Eve, welcome, welcome. I've been trying to fire up people. I'm really. Someone called Roland Martin a sassy Karen.
He is a
I
sad.
I respect white women too much to compare them to Roland Martin.
Ooh.
Okay, no, no.
I was hearing what you said about the black Biden women if they were getting beat up by a redneck and you would just keep it moving.
That's
Absolutely.
no.
They don't need your protection.
If your ass is for Biden, fuck you.
There you go. Fuck
I'm
you.
sick and tired
No, they
of
really
this.
don't want your protection anyway.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
don't
just go
want.
up there and
In
help,
fact,
and then they'll call the cops on you.
they probably would think I was a female, right? You know, she'd ask my pronouns before they'd accept the
But yeah,
help.
right before they
This
accept
is
the help.
bullshit. This out
What do
here.
you go by? Are you a X? What do they call it? A
Trans. Well, I don't care. I don't care. I'm so glad. How do you feel about those truckers going to the border? Because you know, it reminds me of that song by DeBarge. Ooh, I like it.
No, I think that's great. I look, it's always on their side of the fence, right? The evil racist side of the fence that keeps standing up for what they believe is right in the biggest way.
And some of the stuff that they stand up for what benefits us. They're against the baby killing. They don't want the drugs up in here. They want you to be able to have a gun. They don't want people to force. Look, one of my friends is on here. I don't know if they're still listening. They've lost 26 family members. They all believe it's due to mandated medication. 26.
Damn.
And you know what? They blame Trump for this. You know, Donald Trump did Wounded Knee. Donald Trump burned Black Wall Street. Donald Trump started slavery. Donald Trump fired the cannon at Fort Sumter. Donald Trump was water hosing the black kids in Birmingham. Donald Trump killed Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Henry and Henrietta Moore. Donald Trump has done nothing but destroy black people for the last 400 years. If you listen to these despicable people, I'm not trying to make Donald Trump anything other than a politician. He's become a politician, but they've made him the only person evil. Donald Trump did mass incarceration. Donald Trump started the Dixiecrat Party. Donald Trump was the Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice that did Plessy versus Ferguson. And he was
made Rosa Parks get off the bus.
he arrested Rosa Parks. He's the one that hit Harriet Tubman in the head with the brick. I mean, God damn, I'm so sick of this. I could vomit.
Do you remember when he beat Frederick Douglass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not just Frederick Douglass. He shot Dr. King. He killed Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. Let me see. What else he do? He's the one that killed Big Mike and Ferguson. He killed Eric Garner. He killed Akai Gurley. I mean, what hasn't Donald Trump done bad to black people? My God. I mean, that's the way they do it, you know. Donald Trump is the one that puts lead in the water. Donald Trump is the one that puts lead paint in the projects. Donald Trump is behind gentrification.
I'm trying to figure out how Donald Trump can be in charge or behind all of this when Biden has been in office for 60 years. He got 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
4? But all of these other people have been in office for decades.
They've been in for decades. Look, I'm not trying to make Donald Trump perfect. I'm only saying that you look at someone and says, you know, it's interesting. I want to let you know. You take that Petunia pig with the weave-looking thing down in Georgia, Fannie Willis, and everybody knows Fanny is another way to say ass.
It is.
Fannie Willis, if Fannie Willis were doing that to Biden, do you think that he would not be using more harsh language than what Trump is using? If there was another black woman like that Lou Ferrigno without the green makeup looking Letitia James in New York, you know, she does look like Lou Ferrigno. Remember the Incredible Hulk? Or maybe it's before your generation, but you remember.
No, I know.
Okay, she does look like Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, yes,
She does. And it's the same way. And they picked all these ugly black women. The other one, Loretta Lynch, looked like Noriega from Panama. I thought they had lit him out on work release. I mean, it was just, they pick all these ugly black Democratic women that do all this terrible stuff. And it makes all black women look bad. And then you got that one that looks like Bernie Casey. She's Jamaican. Remember Bernie Casey? He used to do all the hard liquor commercials in Ebony magazine. Come on, Black Rose. You know what I'm talking about? Bernie Casey. Remember him?
I vaguely remember him.
Hold on, let me get a picture. Look, the judge in D.C. that's married to a Jewish dude that's lying on Trump. She looks like Bernie.
Yeah.
She looks like Bernie Casey.
You know what?
And then you got a little crooked pedophile Jewish judge up in New York that's bothering Trump. Look, I sat in the courtroom with Roger Stone, and it was shocking in the trial. I was trying not to. I want to be fair. Now, I'm going to just say this. The more I learn about my own roots, the more I have to think about stuff because, you know, some of the biggest slave dealing, slave owning people of all times, some of these people are my damn blood relatives, and some of them were Jews. Like when I go down and look at Robert Israel, who was down in Barbados, who's a Jew, I'm like, damn, right? So I'm not trying to preach hatred against anyone because if you understand how the Nazis hunted people down, they went after you by your lineage. So I don't want people to have this blind hatred of anything they see as Jews, because they have to kill I mean, damn, imagine you black, Indian, and Jewish too. There's so many people that want to fucking kill you. How do you get up in the morning and think about all the folk that wouldn't mind doing something to you? And then add in black and male. And then I guess I'm a religious conservative. A lot of people just like to, get rid of you. So I don't want to make people hate anybody because it will definitely, I'll get screwed somehow. That's just the way it is. But having said that, being at Roger Stone's trial, sitting next to his wife, and I'm looking at the Justice Department lawyers that are there framing this man. And if I told you they were all deep, dark, brunette lawyers, they looked like brothers. It looked like a yeshiva school reunion. I was like saying, don't people realize that if you're thinking, it looks like it's all these Jews after a white gentleman, a non-Jewish white man. That's how it looks. The judge is Jewish. Everybody knifing him is Jewish. I mean, I'm not trying to see a conspiracy, but if all of that's there, trust me, if everybody had been black, it would have been noticeable. We've been trained not to see a consistency of things that occur because we're told that makes you a bigot. I'm not saying all of anybody did anything. I'm only telling you in that courtroom, it looked like he could have been on the trial for his life as a Hamas president in Tel Aviv, okay? That's how it was. I'm not trying to I don't know what to say to you. Let me add one more person, and we can add many more. We have the host of Let's Talk 2. We have Brother Q. Brother Q, welcome to
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
WASI Speak.
How y'all doing?
Yes,
Thank
and forgive me. I'm not trying to make people dislike GCP. I'm very careful to say to people, look, I talk to people about genealogy. Sister Eve and I guess we have some roots in common. And I even think I have roots in common with Mr. Ford. I've been looking at my relatives back in England that are the Fords that came to Virginia. I mean, I'm just saying to you. And by the way, when I go back, all of us, so I want to encourage people to do genealogy, not for you to be weak, but to understand that there's a hell of a lot of connectedness that we human beings have, even though we don't act like it. So, my discovery of last week, something that's kind of common, but I have a grandfather, maybe 40 generations ago, whose name is uh, Charlemagne, the king of the Holy Roman Empire. He's not a grandfather, he's a great uncle. His grandfather, Charles Martel, the man who kicked the Muslims' ass, Brother Q, back in the early 700s, uh, is a grandfather. And so we're all, as I said, I'm a Black American and proud of it. I don't want to be anything else. I'm not trying to be anything else, but I acknowledge everything. And I think I sent it to you, Sister Eve. You said, didn't I send you a picture of my ancestors? Okay. And so the picture of my ancestors who are named Cornwallis in England, when they were buried in their crypt, they were painted black. I mean, I never saw it before the day before. I mean, I don't know anything. Meaning that everything we've been told about our history is a lie. This whole empire is based on lies. So my ancestors in England were darker than me. That's the way they're painted. You saw the picture, right, Eve? Hundreds of years later, that paint is darker than you and I are. So that's why I want to say to you that this thing is a human thing. It's not a color thing. It's a heart thing. Although a lot of people let their heart get shaped by their color or their culture or their families. We need reparations. We need an anti-crime bill. We need justice, and we need to get rid of the boule. It's got to go. And we also have to get rid of feminism. We need patriarchy, and we don't need feminism.
Absolutely.
Feminism has to go. So my question, now that you're here, Brother Q, and we're going to come back, and somebody said, I'm an independent and I have no particular interest in either party. I have never asked people to like one party or the other. What I have asked people to do is get the best deal that you can from everyone that you can as often as you can get it. And at the same time, be honest. If 9/10 of Black people are sitting up under the Democratic donkey's ass and they've been shat on for 60 years, seems like we should move our head. I did not say the elephant wouldn't shit on your head, but the elephant doesn't get to shit on your head as much because it's not under his ass. And ideally, maybe be independent. Remove your head from under either the elephant or the donkey's ass. But in the interim, if you could get something from the elephant, even if it was just for one election cycle, versus getting nothing from the donkey that's shitting on you, why not do it? So I meet a lot of Negroes when they say neither party, I'm an independent, they still vote Democratic blindly. There are a lot of Negro, a lot of Black people, just big ass liars. They always vote blue. In fact, I say it's vote screw. To me, stay your ass at home if you really want to do a protest. Or if you want to undermine a particular, why should someone vote Republican? Not because Republicans will necessarily win. I'm going to tell you what would happen. And I'm going to say this to you right now. I'm going to just deal with this party stuff. And we're going to go back to my issue. If 15 to 20% of black people split their vote like Jews do. Like Jews. The Republican Party would change if you had the right kind. The Republicans you have now, they're full of shit. They're dumb. It's like that donkey looking fool down in South Carolina. Okay. This person, Mark Kirk Owen or whatever, the platinum plan was an offer. Black people refused. Trump offered, and the black boulets said, don't take anything from Trump. We don't want it. We want nothing from Biden is more than something from Trump. So you're not only inaccurate, you're wrong, you haven't done your research. Feelings don't matter on my platform. Facts do. The platinum plan to offer to put $500 billion in the black community, had we been able to spin that around a few times, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. We chose erasure. The Democrats have been working to erase us for a while. We chose erasure. If I'd had a choice to get some of what Trump's offering over being erased by the Democrats, I would have taken it. And it's interesting. Everything. In fact, under Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, a whole bunch of jobs in construction and everything else. And I don't give a damn about any elitist on here who doesn't like construction jobs and so forth. But a lot of black men whose education and skill level isn't great, they need it. They needed that opportunity. Sister Eve, can I ask you a favor?
Of course.
Can you send Brother Chef C the invite?
Yeah.
I'll send it to him.
Okay, so do that. So
Okay,
yeah.
thanks, Q.
I'll do it.
So basically, I would rather get $500 billion from Trump than zero from Biden. A lot of black folks have said zero from Biden is more than $500 billion from Trump. Well, you don't have to vote. Voting isn't important. If you're a person that doesn't vote and you don't organize and you just come on platforms and communicate, you're a bullshitter. There's nothing else to call it. If you're not actively involved, if you don't deal with one party or the other, you don't have an independent black group, and then you're a person that's trolling the space that's a bullshitter. 90%, if not 95% of black folks are bullshitters. They're not doing anything. They sit back, and I have watched people die over the decades, people very committed in the community who worked themselves to death. In fact, I had an associate, they had their issues, but they had a community garden down in the South. And that community garden produced enough food to feed a whole bunch of people in the neighborhood. And when I would be down in Kentucky, the black men would sit and smoke dope and drink and do nothing and ignore the garden. That person got sick and had to go to the hospital. And you know what those folks did? They went and stole the food from the garden, which the person would have given to them anyway. They wouldn't work with. A lot of black folks, you're already walking dead. You're dead meat. Because you won't work with anyone. You're not doing anything. And all these other people coming in as groups, when those guys kicked that cop's ass, they did it as a group. Typically, had it been a black man, he would have fought the cop by himself. In fact, if there was a couple white cops kicking a black man or woman for nothing, most black folks would have stood off and not done anything. What those Latino guys, the crooks, they don't mind dying fighting for one of theirs. We've let the world know we don't care what happens to each other one at a time. That's what we've taught the world. We don't do that. In fact, we know everything. We travel the world. We have a trillion opinions. There's nothing that we sacrifice for. The majority want everything to change without investing anything. For people to say they don't vote at all, that means you didn't vote for the school board, so all the queers and all the other people took over. Maybe you don't vote on the national level, I get that, but to not vote on the local level is totally irresponsible. It's a violation of your agreement. You should be doing that. Oh my God. Eve's Bayou is here. Oh my God, there's another WASI. Oh, this is so nice.
There she is. Oh, she's gone.
No, she's there. Oh my God, we're having an Eve's Bayou uh, reunion, and welcome to WASI Speak, Sister Isla. So again, I want to introduce my WASIs. WASI stands for Warrior Sisters. These are the righteous, good Black women who are anti-feminism. Yes, because I hate feminism. It's evil. It should be destroyed. In fact, we were talking about we're gonna form groups of Black men. We're gonna go and start having the feminist books removed from the libraries and the schools. We're gonna do what the Liberty Moms do because those books are hurtful to the male ego development and formation. And, oh yes, I'm gonna go and cry. I'm gonna read a book and just fall out crying and just roll on the floor and have to take the book out. Oh yes, I can't wait. These are the anti-feminist, pro-family, anti-baby killing, pro-America first, B1 reparationist folks who believe in political engagement. Maybe they don't vote on the national thing, but they do vote for local stuff. I know Sister Isla has grandchildren and all, and I know she cares about who the teachers are. It's very easy. A whole lot of Black folks bitch about local public policy, but are not involved on any level and think that's how it changes. And so I don't know. They put out a poll. The Pew Foundation found that whites are overrepresented in city councils and everything because a lot of people just aren't engaged. And it's true, a whole bunch of Black folks engaged. They're coons, although there are a lot of coons, and they're in one part or the other, but they're primarily Democrats, where Black people are getting screwed the hardest are in large, urban, Democratic strongholds. I don't care what anyone says that doesn't like it. And do something, get involved. And it doesn't have to be in politics, but like Chef C. Chef C has a scholarship program. Chef C feeds about 800 families. There are people out here doing things as best they can, wherever they can. We don't have enough people doing that, and we're not working as a group. We can't get mad at Arabs or Asian Pacific, but they want to call themselves, I came up with was Orientals and stuff, right? Then I learned it was bad to call someone Oriental. And yet my first bank account was with Oriental Bank. It was good enough for my goddamn money. Now I'm a racist if I use the same word and put my money in. All right, whatever.
Because Oriental's a rug, right? At least that's what they tried to teach us.
No, Oriental isn't a rug. Orient means east, Easterners. I mean, that's what it's meant. So, and it's like Latinx. Latinos don't like that. In fact, they don't like Latino. They prefer Hispanic. It's confusing. These are all artificial groups to do what? To punish Black people, right? Let's just deal with, so all these names and stuff, it's bullshit. The woman stuff, the gay stuff, this is all an effort to muddy the waters because when Black folks started raising hell in the 60s, it shook the country. So they needed a diversion. And so what? 65 is the same year they did the immigration reforms, the same year you had the Watts riot, right? So don't ever mistake this. This is basically a chess move. Don't give rights and power to people who are from this country. And we deserve it 3 times. We deserve reparations because we're the descendants of people who are Africanized Europeans, who are Irish, Welsh, Scottish, English. I certainly am. And I was looking at documents today talking about freedmen or freeman papers for family members in Massachusetts. What Dr. Winters was explaining is those people who had some kind of African or non-Saxon origin had to prevent themselves from being excluded from being able to own property. They had to get what's called freeman status. So the Lancasters, Miss Madam Minister of Space, were free men. I can send you the document to show it.
Oh, for sure. I was looking at something earlier today as well, and it was talking about the amount of free people and slaves. Maybe we were looking at the same thing, or maybe you sent it to me, but I don't think people are doing their story. They're listening to other people's story and they're kind of osmosising it, right? It's a lazy approach to finding out who you are. And I guess that's okay, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I guess some of us are probably, well, not even probably. You, Dr. Short, have shown me on paper that you are a direct descendant of King James, and I think that
we're direct descendants of King James and Mary, Queen of Scots.
European royalty, right?
Yes.
They don't want us to even recognize that.
Right. And that's even more reason, that's proof. If you and I come from a royal European bloodline, how the hell did we end up broke other than a caste system arrayed against us based on color and even though many of our ancestors weren't even slaves because of a slave system, we still got treated as if we were chattelized. Mm-hmm. And because some of our families are mixed with people who were chattelized, we got put with the enslaved people. I mean, imagine that, which means, come on, I'm just going to tell you, the city of Baltimore is named for my grandfather. My ninth great grandfather was Lord Calvert. Okay, Anne Arundel County, right next to Baltimore, is named for my grandmother. Okay, Talbot County in Maryland's named for a branch of family. I think the state of Maine is named for family. How in the hell are Eve and I connected to this? And we're lacking capital and resources. You see, in any other society, if you came from nobility through birth, you would have access. So this tri-ethnic heritage is even more grounds for reparations. And we can also link up and talk about, I was watching a documentary on Jefferson Davis, and Jefferson Davis was trying to kill some kind of member of the family. If you've heard of Black Hawk's War, Black Hawk, who's a Sauk Indian, his son married into the family. So somehow the people, Abraham Lincoln, by the way, went around shooting people in one of the kin tribes. If you sit down, you think about it, it says, oh my God, sit down and think. We are Aboriginal people here. We are people brought from Africa here. And we're people who got dispossessed or through a process of a caste system being created. Huh? Even if we had noble ancestry from Africa, Indians, or from Europe, we still end up with less than 1% of the national income. That's a crime. Not to mention the slavery, the land stolen from our Aboriginal side, labor stolen, cheated from people who were not chattelized, and definitely just stolen from the people that were chattelized as slaves. So, to hell with that. We need our money. But I want to ask my WASIs, Madam Minister of Space, Black Rose in Texas. We got Eve's Bayou down in Florida. So we've got like 3 states represented. We've got Virginia, Texas, and Florida and Louisiana. we're gonna give them both states. So we got Creole power and by the way, hi black Jewish sister. We black Jews have to stick together. We have to fight a whole bunch of stuff.
Hey, Dr. Short, could you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to say, hey, Eve, I agree with you to an extent, Eve. What you said about us not really doing the work far as our own lineage on an individual basis. One of the things that us four on the panel know with Dr. Short is that he literally goes to the Book of Archives and does the work for a fee, but he'll do the work for most of us. And that's one of the biggest problems that we're having. We're like at a stalemate because you'll see and hear a lot of people regurgitating the reparations talking points, but they don't even know who their grandfather was. And that's problematic because if they knew who they were, they would be willing to really, really put the work in, not always online arguing with people.
Mm-hmm.
They would understand that
sloganizing.
Yeah. Reparations, and I hear this thing, and I totally disagree with it. This no reparations, no vote. What if Callie House felt that way? What if Dr. Anderson felt that way? You can't have that type of thinking because at the end of the day, reparations, people are going to lose their reputation fighting for reparations. Some may lose their lives. It's going to happen. That's how serious it is. We have to realize that we just ain't going to get reparations easy.
I want
as a collective, it's not going to happen.
I want to respond to Mr. Fairfax. I don't think a WASI would wear a Biden shirt. You guys are WASIs. Do you wear Biden regalia?
Hell no. I also never wore any Obama gear either.
Yeah.
So that's just me. Yeah.
Well, actually, for a joke, I had an Obama shirt on. I knew it would set my audience off. People started cussing when they saw me something Obama on. They knew I was being stupid. Yeah, if you see me doing something with Obama, you know it's out of disrespect. So I came on one of my shows and had an Obama shirt on, and people just went wild. And I just said I just wanted to be a coon to see how it felt to wear coon clothing. Being a sellout has to be fun. There's so many black people that are coons. It must feel good to hate yourself and to my white audience, I mean, aren't you disgusted when you see black people just begging to be white and you just they want to meet real black people and they keep meeting Tim Scott and they almost lose it. I was thinking if I could do a sitcom show, there'd be like three coons: a Caribbean coon, a Black American coon, and an African coon. And they're always selling out. And there always be a scene where they try to push up to a white woman. And the white woman is like, she's reading a book. And the guy comes up and says, what are you reading? And he starts trying to figure out all the books she's reading. Are you reading Shakespeare? And she's saying, this is reading this. And finally, he says, well, what are you reading? She says, I'm reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. Have you read it? And the guy says, who's Malcolm X? And the white woman storms out. She runs out crying. I thought you were a real black man. And they keep getting turned down by the white women because they want to meet someone that's actually black, and all these people are such coons and the whole thing would be these guys keep getting embarrassed for having no dignity. I'm going to say this. I said in my program the other night, and I've never felt bad about being who I was, ever. Okay? But I've always noticed that there's this huge swathe of black folks who have no fucking dignity or integrity. It is so, I don't know what to do about it because they're so goddamn weak. Let me tell you something. I'm going back to 1970 in my mind. I had a racist teacher that looked like Hillary Clinton. And she was trying to hinder the black students from learning how to read. She would harass them when they were reading to make them feel uncomfortable. And she succeeded because they had such a low self image that they accepted the teacher saying that they had too many difficulties reading, so they didn't have to read at all. And I remember black kids just putting their heads down and being disrespected by the teacher. And I never did that. And by the way, me and the teacher clashed. But you know what? The black kids in my class never spoke to me because I didn't acquiesce to being told I couldn't read by my racist teacher. They were more angry with me for insisting I could read than the fact that someone was trying to tell me I couldn't. That's how and I'll say this to you: if everybody black like that dropped dead of whatever new mandated we'd be better off, because you can't work with people like that. You can't work with them. You can't. I've experienced this my whole life. We have a team honeycomb with people who think we can't win, and therefore they make us lose. I'm not a loser. I resent being made to lose by a no good piece of, of trash. I mean, you know, come on, you guys have worked in corporate America. Have you worked with black folks who worked against you? They would complain about no one getting a promotion, but they'd try to make you fail, and then they'd go back and report on you. And
Yep.
and then when they get dogged,
Mm-hmm.
they come and want empathy from you, the same person they constantly betray and stab in the back. And there's a whole bunch of black folks, they want it both ways, like the black stars, athletes, celebrities, and politicians. They reach a high place, they do everything they can to gatekeep, block, dog us, piss on us, shit on us. And then when they get rejected, they want to come back and still be embraced as someone who made it amongst us. And we've let them feel like they could come back. Okay? It's us. If we had more true group pride and self respect, when you betray us, your ass is out. Stay out. Don't come back. I don't want to be integrated with no good, self hating black people. I want to be segregated. I don't want to breathe the same air. If I knew that there were some black people with no dignity, I don't want to drink. I don't want to. If I see a place where black folks with no self respect hang, I will always be somewhere else. I want to be segregated from them. I don't want to ride in the same bus. I don't want to listen to the same music. Literally, I'm a segregationist against no good black people. And even in my class as a teacher, because a lot of folks would try to come in and bring this degenerate, sorry ass, excuse making black culture into my classroom and try to sit in the back and fall asleep. And I basically had a rule in my class that the last row of seats was honorary Rosa Parks section, and only a straight A student could sit in the back. If you didn't have all straight A's, you couldn't sit in the back. If you sat on the back row, I'd immediately give people a quiz. I'd punish people for once. So anybody try to sit in the back, see people start crying, please don't sit in the back, you'll go crazy. So everybody had to sit up front. I said, so if you were at a white school, you would sit up front to try to prove I have a right to be here. You get among black people, and then you decide you're going to put your feet up on the desk and go to sleep. You know, I had a little Nigerian broad try that, and I says, do I look like Posturepedic to you? And if I do, I still don't want you sleeping on me. Your ass is to be awake every time you come in my class, or drop. But you can't come and sleep here. And I'm not getting any sex either. So stay awake or get the hell out.
That Randy, stop.
Hey, Dr. Short, Chef C is in the backstage, he said.
Okay, well, let me see. I thought I could have 8 people. I don't see how I
And
can.
Janet's trying to come. Well,
Who?
Janet.
Okay, I may have to swap someone in or out. In fact, Sister Eve, I thought you were going to be on Twitter.
Okay, let's see if we can do that.
And I have a question. If we do Twitter, does that mean that I can release your seat and bring someone in?
Sure.
And Sister Isla, if you did, you went over, that way you could help her run that space, then I can bring two people up. Because that's what I thought we were going to do. But I want everybody. I thought I had capacity for 8 people. I don't. There's this thing here, and I was trying to manipulate it. Let me see if I can take me out. It does. It doesn't let me get to Chef C. That's the problem. So, Brother Quentin, can you join them in Twitter and let me see if, oh, let me see who, okay, when Eve came out, Chef C came up. I don't know where Janet is. She's not here. So I don't know what she's doing.
No, she's still trying to download.
Ah, okay.
It was minutes.
Wait a minute. So Isla went there. Chef C. Okay.
Testing.
Okay.
Peace.
All right. Now,
All right.
Chef up north.
and I'm trying to see, and Sister Eve is going to open up a space so we can have this.
Brother Short, Brother Dr. Short, you know they jipping you as usual. It should be 8 maximum on the platform.
Should I can put 10?
I thought I paid for 10. Maybe it's how I have this set up. Do you think that's what it is? Let me try it.
I would
Shit.
have to see your interface.
Yeah, your stage should be able to be stacked out. You should be able to, yeah.
Okay, I'm doing shift 3, group layout.
Yeah, because this is WASI talks. I'd rather have the sisters heavy in the building.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I'm trying. I know goodness well that I should have the capacity to have 8. That's what I pay for, as you know. Oh, let me try it this way so we can bring everybody in. People don't realize we pay for it and we don't get it. So I've pushed that. Let me try something. Hold on just a moment. Let me try something. Wow. I see an additional person, and I think that that's Janet. I see another person down here, and it doesn't show me where I get to, how I can't get that person at the bottom. Sister Eve, have you set up your Twitter space yet?
I am setting it up now, just trying to figure out how I would be here with you and on the Twitter space.
Wouldn't I hear you on the Twitter space?
Right. Then you would join my Twitter space. So I'm gonna get out of here all together, and then I will invite you to the space.
Now who? Okay, that's Isla. Okay. Now.
Okay, can you hear me, Dr. Short?
I can. I was just trying to make certain that. So Eve is going to go to Twitter. I'm going to join her in Twitter, and we'll start all over again, because I still want to know. And I'm going to shut up. I want the sisters to I want y'all to talk about Biden and these women getting killed. And I want y'all to talk about Fannie Willis. And I'm sorry, it's just dumb to use public money to buy a private dick. I didn't know people did that. And oh my. And she admitted to having it. I got it, but it's not a conflict. It's a conflict with the headboard and his ex. It's got to be a conflict with everybody else, Fanny. Damn.
Isn't that the basis of his wife's divorce?
I don't know if it's the basis, but okay. Okay, Sister Eve is up there. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me request. Okay. Let's see.
Some of these technical difficulties worked out, but hopefully you can hear our brother Randy, who just joined the stage. We've been having a talk tonight about Biden and Black women.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Biden. That's what I say.
Well, actually, that's what he wants. We should say unfuck Biden. Make him do coitus interruptus in the White House. In fact, I came up with the song today. And, I was thinking about Whitney Houston, and I was thinking about someone much cheaper and less talented, Kamala Harris. And that song, How Will I Know? How Will I Know? Okay. And I was thinking, How Will I Know is I'm a political hoe and you should love me. I'm a political hoe and you should love me. Right?
Right.
I'm telling lies because I'm corrupt. Hoe speak. Stealing votes is so bittersweet. And so I had to work with that song, How Will I Know? A political hoe.
You had quite a few good ones that you came
political
up with.
hoe, right? No reparations. I'm just a hoe and you vote for me. Right?
Short, you're always making up some song. I thought we were supposed to do the one from The Color Purple.
We did. You weren't around.
God's supposed to tell me something.
No, Oprah wants you carpet munching. How does that go? It goes, don't need men in my life, right? Ain't gonna be a wife. Oprah wants carpet munching, right? Right. Patriarchy's gone. I prefer strap on. Oprah wants us carpet munching. And then you go, Oprah wants us carpet munching. Oprah. Yeah, right. And by the way, the movie is doing very, very poorly on Monday. What?
It's already on the stream now.
Well, now I want to say to everybody, I want you to buy black. There's going to be some black crackhead, reefer head, fentanyl head that's selling pirated DVDs. I want you to buy every Color Purple pirate copy that your heart desires, but do not buy from the formal economy. If you just want to see Taraji with her bad breath, kiss on Fantasia.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Taraji got
Not
the
with her bad
same
breath though.
same face that fucking Kerry Washington makes in every damn movie. It's always the same weird face.
okay, sister, your rug's on my mind, sister. You can
That's
munch
just
on
gross.
mine, right? Yes, no, Ivan, no, I haven't forgotten. I have, as it says, I just have to get with some musicians and we record, and we do, right. But I do like that, and of course, I'm working on the greatest love of all, which is on Diddy. Or Diddy can turn you out. Oh, Diddy can turn you out. Oh, Diddy can turn you out. Turn it out, Diddy will turn you out. Turn it out, Diddy will turn you out. Why are you getting your contract worked? Diddy's already turned you out, right? Which is what's happening. And one of my dear sisters told me, and I'm gonna tell y'all what they said. They said that Diddy's main squeeze is Blumberg.
What?
Well, I always call him Slumberg. And now I guess we can call him Comberg. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what they said. I'm like, all right. You wonder? No. I can see it. But you have to wonder, how did he get where nobody will bother him?
Yeah.
Why he isn't getting treated like R. Kelly?
They didn't Cosby him. They didn't R. Kelly him.
Dr. Short, you're saying Bloomberg, the dude who was running for president? Bloomberg?
Well, yes. I will say Diddy seems to reach for bigger things. Okay, the color purple's latest gross for February 1st. We can celebrate this. I want all the give yourselves a hand clap, patriarchs and wazies. The color purple grossed on Thursday $35,554.
What?
That's all they made, and 503 theaters in this country at $70 a theater, meaning, or screen, meaning that you and I going out to eat Black Rose would run up more money than what the color purple is collecting per theater. Come on, Oprah. You and your GCPs need to pull that shit out.
It's a flop. It's a fail.
Well, just like Oprah Winfrey's butt lift and her boobs and everything else she does, it's a flop. And she's pathetic. I mean, she's a carbohydrates and trauma porn addict. She'll be fat again, and she'll make something else that denigrates Black people. And I can't stand her. She's like a pig. And I'll tell you something about pigs. When pigs are in the mud, they shit in the mud that they're in. But I guess it must be cool. Pigs like being in their own shit and mud as long as it keeps them cool. And that's how Oprah is in the suffering of Black people. It's made her rich that she mud bathes and the fecal matter of our trauma for personal aggrandizement. If nothing other than you care about children in Maui, you should despise Oprah Winfrey completely. She's the most hateable person of all times. There's no way. I just don't like her. I don't want to like her. I don't want to be friends. I don't want to get along.
I think this is what was going on at their school in Africa.
What do you mean? She recruited the white women that raped the Black girls. What do you mean she didn't know? She hired those women. She brought those studs in. Oprah knows what a stud is. Oprah hired white women to rape Black women, and you sisters think that she's a paragon. She's an icon of Black women. This is what's made us have to become patriarchs. We tried to be simps. We failed. The more we simp, the dumber the pork chops got. So we've had to become patriarchs to save the race, because when we tried to go equal and 50-50, morally and ethically, it just kept getting worse. Any tramp that the system gets behind, Lizzo, God, Megan the Stallion. I mean, God, Muhammad Ali's face was pretty. I'm sorry, Megan. I mean, his boobs don't look like yours, but basically, you get anybody that they'll put up that drags black women through the mud. Some of us grew up with Lena Horne. We grew up with Diane Carroll, with Leslie Uggams. I don't care if they were gay or had a white man. We came up with Diana Ross. It was classy. These new sisters, god damn. Taylor Swift has more poise than almost all the sisters that are headliners now. How the hell did that happen? I mean, how do we go from the 3 Degrees, or how do we go from Shaka Khan to Lizzo? When Shaka Khan's dressed skimpy, that's just for show. Shaka Khan is a damn prude. That's why she can't get married, stay married. Dude think that she's super freak. No, she's not. Might get it once a month. I mean, people be ready to divorce Shaka Khan, find out she's not as nasty as her stage persona. Lizzo is nastier than her stage persona.
Yeah, that's a damn shame too. Dr. Short, in Spaces, we have a speaker. And to the room, this is an interesting space. It's not something that I do like this normally, but we are streaming on YouTube as well if you wanted to join in the conversation. But to any of the women in the room, I wonder, are you on the same train we are, where we say fuck Biden and to the black
please stop
who,
giving him
like
credit.
On the Biden train, fuck them
too. And Taraji looks like My Little Pony.
Wait, what? She looks like what?
My Little Pony.
Somebody in the chat said she looked like a Teletubby.
Yes, but I was thinking what it looks like to me. It's But by the way, we have a bunch of brothers on here, but definitely we want sisters. Please, are you guys still with Biden? I mean, what does he have to do? How many flights of stairs? How many children does he have to grope? How many black girls have to get killed overseas or get brain damage from being bombed by Dune Coons for you to not like Biden? Tell us what needs to happen so we can draw a line and say, well, that happened. Now you have to be against Biden. Okay, you don't have to vote for Trump, but you cannot support Biden. That's all I'm asking. Please be against his ass, and please stop telling me Kamala Harris is a soul sister. If Kamala Harris is a soul sister, so is Nikki Haley. And she's a bigger hole than Kamala. Kamala wasn't married when she was screwing other people who were. Nikki Haley, oh my God.
Dr. Short, hold up for a second. Immortal, are you there? You got your hand up?
Yes, ma'am.
What's up, dear?
Greetings to everyone. And just to speak to the title, say Black Women and Friends. Say F Biden. Well, I'm a friend of black women, and I say F Biden. So hopefully, the black women I'm friends with come along with me on that. It's been a long road. My family, they get the tipping point. I gotta make, like you say, I gotta figure out what is it that you won't take, and when you do it, then I'll just show you that we can move on. And I also wanted to say something about the industry and how black women are being portrayed that you mentioned. And so from my perspective, I've seen that kind of thing go on for generations. So you can go all the way back to Betty Boop, all the way, the real Betty Boop, the one that Betty Boop was. You can go to Josephine Baker. You can go all the way up to Vanity. You can go all the way up to different ones throughout different times who had a risque approach to their entertainment thing. But the difference between then and now is, for the most part, Black Americans, we consumed our own entertainment. It was for us, by us, for us. And not only would we consume certain things like vanity. That's more my generation. So vanity was out.
Well, Vanity was fine. Vanity was fine.
Also,
At least
but we didn't venerate her, and
right.
we also would choose other acts like the lead singer. She sing a song, say, "I'm sorry I had to pick this song," but she say, "I don't care what you did to them, just be good to me." Now she was a consummate performer. Then you mentioned other people like Shaka Khan. She was a consummate performer. She was beautiful, but she didn't rely on over the top sexuality as much.
Yes,
as,
because she could sing.
A lot of sisters, what's her name, Stephanie Mills, and we would support them as much or more than we would the more risque acts. So the difference now is when the black community has a risque act, all the white money is poured in there to promote that over and above anything like a Solange. Why she don't get the kind of promotion? Solange could have been a big star as quickly as Sexy Red, but the promotion wasn't in there for her, and you know all the extra attention, they didn't do that for her the way they did it for Sexy Red. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of sisters out here putting out good content, doing real good. I can think of a few of them. Jasmine Sullivan. I don't know if she's a Black American. There's a lady named Her.
Do you know Maimuna?
A lot of different people.
You know Maimuna?
No, I haven't heard of that, but I'm sure she would be one of the ones in the vein of we have to support. If we want to see a certain style being presented in entertainment of all women, we have to demand it and won't take nothing less. Otherwise, they'll just keep manufacturing this this nonsense.
Yes.
And sell it to everybody in the world. We want, black folks ain't really buying Sexy Red like that. We don't.
Or Little Nas X.
Like we do, and they hyping it up. That's the bandwagon hype. In real life, don't nobody trip off her like that.
No.
That's all these other people that want to see a black woman act like that, and they pay for it. So they'll land it with that.
And well, no, you're 100% right. And I would say this, in full agreement, we have to demand better. And I'll just tell you, I have to take my little patriarchal whip out. Too many black men, I don't know what that's about, a whole bunch seem to love the slut culture. And it's a lot of black men that like the slut hole culture. And that needs people. I'll give you an example. I will say a fucking name. I don't care. The guy on WOL Radio 1, Carl Nelson, and I drew swords on his show. I was saying that people need to stop going to strip clubs. Adult entertainment is really code language for sexual slavery of women for the entertainment of men. If you care about women, you don't want them to be sex slaves. If you can't find a woman, invest in a sex doll. But don't demand slavery. I'm such a sorry ass man with women. Until I basically have a University of California film department film library of porn, because I can't get through the week without new images. The younger, the better. That's the way I go through life with porn. Black men have to become the enemies of the porn movement. The porn business is controlled by GCPs. We are giving our money to people who hate our guts. We're giving money to people that are promoting insanity in our community. The porn industry needs to be attacked. Strip clubs, it needs to cease to be. I have an associate that goes to strip clubs, but they know not to invite me, and they don't talk about it because I'll put them down. Black men need to start rejecting men that like sleaze and filth. And the same thing, black women have to start cracking down on this whore culture. The pimp, whore, stud, slut culture must go immediately. And I'll tell you, I was on, I'll say it, Carl Nelson's show. And I said that black men need to stop going to strip clubs. And he says, I like strip clubs. Now, this is a Negro that's on Power Talk. He's a Jamaican. He's not a black American. And he's praising strip clubs. And yet, excuse me, I'm talking about human trafficking. Part of human trafficking is supply a slave labor force for people who have erectile dysfunction that can't relate to a woman any damn way. Huh? So him and I said to him, so you like strip clubs? What is the age of the girls that lap dance on you? I know you haven't carded them, and you don't care what age they are as long as your dick gets hard. Ain't that so? I haven't been on his show since. Fuck him. If you want freedom for your people, you want freedom for the women and children too. No people will make it with your women and children as the victims of predation and sexual marketing and exploitation. It brings the whole people down. There are way too many black men that like porn, that like strip clubs, that patronizes. Not only that, they're fucking the drag queens too. There's this culture of dick worship where they want to fuck everything that walks, of age, legal or otherwise. And that's why there's no movement in our community to end this push towards the pedophilia legalization in our community. That includes all the nigger preachers. The black church right now is one of the greatest organizations that is passively promoting the sexual enslavement of our children. The black church. There's not a damn thing we have that says no more of this garbage. And if they don't like it, I can assure you, then let's have an open discussion, sister, madam, minister of space, and us. Let's talk to, I'll say a name. Ask Barbara Skinner's ass at the National Congress of Black Churches why none of the black women in Congress were willing to work with the white Republican women to fight against human trafficking. Not one goddamn black woman in Congress would co-sponsor a bill to protect our women and girls. Not a fucking one. So, and by the way, my default is, okay, I'm going to take the feminist line. Black men ain't shit, they don't care. All right. But women are perfect and they do care about women and kids. If that's so, there's no evidence that any of our black groups, I'm talking about the sororities and all these other society bitches organizations, don't do a damn thing for women or girls. They're not even raising a lot of hell for the income level to be raised for black women. In fact, one person that they should have attacked, and they're Republican, Nikki Haley, is singularly responsible for hundreds of thousands of blacks not having health care in the state of North Carolina, and there hasn't been a fucking black woman spokesperson, anyone, to call that bitch out because she's a woman of color. And you look at this, my God. That's why I love you, Sister Eve, Sister Isla, all you WASIs. You black women that are out here, you guys need a regime change. These old broads with the wigs and those big sombreros and shit on, they're not about shit. They're just old. They're just old. It's time to yank those old broads out. It's time to run these old men out. You know, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. And y'all know Joe Madison died the other day. And by the way, whereas Carl Weathers was an actor, Joe Madison's deceased. I'll ask a question. Who's his successor? And there is none. Why? Because a lot of these old people only looked out for their own families or their own careers. They didn't groom anybody else. It's interesting. White supremacists, Charlie Clerk, all of these people who attack us have successors. They even have replacement coons. We're the only people that don't make another one. What if Ford only had the Model T? He had the Model T and the Model A. He kept coming out with new types of cars to stay in business. We only have A. Malcolm X, A. Martin Luther King, A. Khalid Muhammad. Damn it, we need thousands of them. We need 1 million Harriet Tubmans. We have too few exceptional fighters in our community. And we have too many fence riding, do nothing, complain a lot, talk a lot, want to integrate, sleep around a lot types. But back to the sisters. I see there's a sister star. Are there any other women out here? Come on, sisters. How do y'all feel about Biden? In particular, for you that are new in Twitter, I wanted to talk to Sister Eve about those two black girls that got blown up in Syria. It doesn't sit right with me for black girls to get blown up in Birmingham or to get blown up in Syria. And I'm wondering how many other black women got blown up that are in the National Guard of Georgia over in Syria and Jordan right now, basically unprotected. How many black women? Huh?
I thought about the same thing.
How many of those are black girls being killed, damaged permanently because they're being bombed? You're not supposed to have the National Guard. And some foreign country we don't have the right to be in an isolated place where they're not safe. And you know how the VA is going to ignore, and those women are going to be damaged for life. Those men are going to be damaged for life. And I can tell you the VA dogs black people. It dogs white people. You know that they mess up black people. They had a whole bunch of black soldiers on Vioxx. They killed them with Vioxx. The VA experiments on the black soldiers, black vets. Let them live with diabetes to see how long you can live with diabetes before you die. They let my uncle live into his 70s with diabetes and told him, just as he was going blind in his 70s, by the way, we forgot to tell you, you've had diabetes 25 years. That's what the VA does. And you know what? As they don't protect our women and girls from this 6 or 7 or 8 million people that have come across the border who are going to want to have sex with anyone. If you attack a New York policeman in broad daylight, they will rape a woman in broad daylight. They will. And once they understand the racial dynamics of America, if they don't already know, they know it'll be their word against hers. Sisters, y'all going to be told to suck up that salsa sperm and just keep it moving. Oh, yes, you will. This has happened to us on Biden's watch. You might hate Trump, but at least we didn't have 7 million additional people who they're going to give government jobs. They're going to make policemen in our neighborhood. God damn. And so my question to the sisters, are you still ride or die for Biden? Here in DC, the elderly black women are being given $5 and $6 a month in SNAP, and they're giving the illegals $800-900.
Are they going to be forced to get the plantain or the chicharron? Which one are they going to have to take, Brother Dr. Short?
This is craziness. Come on, y'all. So I'm asking the sisters, are y'all still with Biden? When you watch the news, they're still saying black women are with Biden. Biden made certain that...
I wonder what black women, Dr. Short, I feel like they like to use words because they know it's triggering or they know we're going to be paying attention to some of those code words. But then in the same breath, they will call... I don't remember what you were calling Nikki Haley and Kamala, but they call
Nikki Haley she's 1/3 the melanin, 3 times the whole of Kamala Harris. Okay, 1/3 the color, and she said the country's not racist. And if you look at her skin, the epidermis is damaged from her using skin lightening cream. Her liar ass. Oh, what a fake ass liar bitch, man. Can't stand her. You can't make me like her.
Not to be disparaging on the dead or anything, but if this is what they were championing, or if this is what they really believed in, or if these are the people that they thought were on their side, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. If you passed a Black Biden woman getting beat down by somebody, you would continue to keep walking, right? Because you're not going to sacrifice yourself for her when she says fuck you in general. So is that what we're doing? Are we championing people who decided to put themselves in harm's way because they knew what the harm was and they just said, fuck it, I want resources?
They didn't. No, sister. It's illegal. When they recruit you, you're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there. I know someone in the National Guard right now, and they were being pressured to be vaccinated. They were being pressured to go to other countries. That once you're under that, in particular, that's why they put that Esterol looking nigga as charge of the military, that buffoon, Austin. He does look like the mother of JJ and Michael from Good Times. And the times sure are bad with his sorry ass. Okay. They put Austin in there to dog black people. And so initially he talked about racism in the military, right? And everyone, oh my God, he's talking about, and he just talked that little racial shit. He works for the white military corporations that steal all the money to have all these foreign wars. He's not for anybody. You know what I'm saying? At least he has a halfway decent looking wife, because I remember when Petraeus, remember General Petraeus? Man, yeah, remember, I mean, you could have used his wife as a pit bull dog repellent. My God, it was just atrocious, man. It's just like, I would like have to do a Hail Mary and stuff every time she came on TV. It's like, God, help my cornea get through this. Just, Lord, get me over. I'm looking to you, God, to get me through this, right? She looks so bad. So at least his wife is black. And she doesn't look like she does skydiving without a parachute. That's the only nice thing I have to say about him. Okay. They put him in there to mess over us.
Right on.
And by the way, he gets treated like dirt over in Israel. You know how they feel about him. So, can you imagine Bibi Netanyahu, the way Bibi don't like black people, to have that dude? And by the way, he's sick too. He's got cancer in his dick. That's what they say, prostate. I hope it's not the other side. Anyway. Yeah, I wonder if in fact, a lot of folk getting cancer, they beat cancer years ago, then all of a sudden the cancer came back. I'll say this, Joe Madison was on the radio with Fauci, telling everybody that they needed mandated medicine. Now he's gone.
Yep. They said that we were stupid because we did not want to.
Well, no, hold, don't go there, because they'll shut us down. Okay. We have to say mandated medicine.
Mandated medicine.
They said people who are against mandated medicine were crazy. Okay, so now the military, and even now, they want you to donate blood if you didn't have mandated medicine. Isn't that incredible? We're the ones making everybody sick. Now it's not us. Oh my God.
They actually have sperm banks that are wanting to, and I know this is kind of gross, but they want men, the sperm of men who did not get vaccinated.
Paying top dollar for that.
Well, you know what?
Mandated medicine sperm.
Well, you know what? There's a song that comes to mind by Aretha Franklin. Ain't no way for me to love you. Ain't no way. You ain't getting none of this secret sauce. You can't have it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. There ain't no way for me to love you. And the background goes, who? Wait a minute. Who, if you did vax me. Okay. Ain't no way. Save your seed. Do not get. Look, this cum that Jesus gave it to me, the world didn't give it to me, and I'm not giving it away. This nut that I have, Fauci didn't give it to me, and Fauci can't have it. Y'all get me? Again, repeat, brothers, this nut I have, Fauci didn't give it to me. Again, this nut I have is mine. Okay? Okay. That's right. This nut is mine.
Oh my.
Right. And it's grade A. And, and I'm serious. And don't give your organs, don't do anything.
Do y'all remember when Roland was trying to get black men to sell their sperm? I wonder if it's
he was thirsty. He was thirsty. He was thirsty. There's something wrong with him. He's gross. He's nasty. He's gross. He's despicable. Roll over Martin.
Roll over Martin. Oh
yeah. So no, save your sperm. I mean, and don't give it to Roland. You don't know what he'll do with it. And that'll probably be some ritual for people to become 33 in the third degree or whatever it is that they do. No. It's your secret sauce.
Your secret sauce.
This little cum of mine.
Oh, boy.
Right. Right. And we're not going to, it's not going to be in your spine. This little cum of mine is for me, for whatever kids I can have or will have. Now, sisters, wait a minute. Sister Iva, I haven't heard from you. How are you feeling about Biden? You're the grandmother. I mean, how do you feel?
I'm here, Doctor. Wait.
What are you thinking?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, if my timeline doesn't, tell it on both Facebook and Twitter, I'm just disgusted. Not just by him, but that entire weekend at Bernie's setup that they've got going on over there at the White House. That man is just appalling, just his history alone, being the mentee of Strom Thurmond is enough to send up alarm bells. Well, I would hope that it would send up alarm bells with people. I mean, those are things that matter because you don't just change overnight. What they say, the leopard doesn't change its spots.
Or you know what? Or you can say drag queen doesn't change its crotch.
Yeah, he that I didn't vote for him. I voted for Obama the very first term that he had.
Oh, I'm gonna pray for you.
Yeah, and then after that.
Sell out. I did too, sister. I did too.
Yeah,
I did worked on his campaign and everything.
Yeah, I didn't vote for him a second term. I was just highly disappointed, especially with that whole LGBT push and pushing for gay marriage, that whole thing. But anyway, back to Biden. I don't support him in any fashion. I do not think that he will be elected this term. As a matter of fact, I know that he will not.
I think they're going to they're going to steal the election.
Yeah, I'm looking at what's going on over in the Middle East now, right? And that he's pushing to basically strike on Iran, which would be to our detriment because our military is not in any capacity, in any shape, to fight any of those wars. It just isn't. But they've made some strikes, I think, in Syria, and I want to say Jordan. I'm not sure. Just correct me on that part.
It's Iraq, Yemen,
Iraq, and,
Lebanon, Syria.
Yeah. So the point that I'm making is that it's almost as if they're trying to create as much havoc as they can prior to, which I think Trump is going to win this election. I'm just almost 100% sure, but it's almost like they're trying to create as much disorder and havoc around the world exits, right? But it's a possibility to election because they're most certainly setting up things to be able to do everything from allowing the to vote, which you're trying to get in
Well,
play, to just outright just just lying about what the count is. I just don't trust these people. But
yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I'm hoping that the white people come out and try to prevent the illegals from voting. I hope they do some Jim Crow shit. That there's diversity, inclusion, and equity in preventing people from voting this year. I hope everybody that looks like they've had a burrito gets questioned about voting wherever they are. I mean, I'm praying for the white racists to just stop hiding. Bigot white people, where are you when we need you? Come out and check everyone's ID.
Exactly.
If you see Jesus, don't go by the nail prints. If you see Jesus, don't check his side. Ask him for his ID. Ask everybody. I want to see equal equality, bigotry, and voter suppression against. If you have any kind of accent, I want to see voter suppression. Yes, I do. I don't care. Right now, because our people aren't speaking up, the only hope I have is bigoted white people who don't like anybody. That's sad, but I've been forced to look to the truckers and the patriots because we used to have some pushback in our community. The only people pushing back are these white folk that love guns and love borders.
But Dr. Short, they're giving them IDs. They're able to get licenses in places like Michigan and Illinois.
But not in Alabama, not in Georgia, not in Texas. It's not everywhere.
Yeah.
So no, I'm looking at. In fact, no, I'm looking forward to some serious action this year. And again, by the way, I want to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about all these asshole black women on the left that are shaky and corrupt, like that Cori Bush, who used to look like a pit bull. Now she looks like an old R&B singer that has no more hits. She used to look like a pit bull. I almost felt like somebody needed to put a collar on their dog with an RFD chip in it. But she's fixed herself. She looked really bad at first. Man, she could have been like a pitch. She could have been a bag cover for Alpo. But she spent some of that money they gave her, campaign money. She has fixed herself up. Cori Bush, you used to look like a K9. You actually look like a black woman. I mean, that's a serious makeover. Now, politically, you suck on a lot of stuff, although I'll give you a shout out for what you did for the evictions. But, her and Rashida Tlaib must have a relationship. Whatever that Arab woman does, she does the same thing. If Rashida Tlaib was going to put on a strap-on bomb,
well,
I think Cori Bush would.
Ilhan needs to go.
Well, Ilhan, she's Somali. I mean, she's a whole with the GCPs in Minnesota have her up here. I think they're gonna be tired of her. She may be gone this time. They put her in to keep a black person out of that seat in Minnesota. By the way, on the Angry Black Men's Book Club channel, we talk about AIPAC, the GCPs. They're targeting about 10 black members of Congress. They're a bunch of bootlicks. They're not going to have their seats. I just can't wait until we see all of these coontards getting run out. Not that they'll be replaced by good people, but it's nice to see them have to look for a job. Like the rest of us. It's beautiful. Okay, now let me land my plane. Sister Eve, ask these sisters some questions about these sellout women in Congress. These asinine prosecutors, these sisters that are supporting all this sexual confusion, you WASIs are against it. These same people that like all this stuff, basically, they're 2Bs or BBs, Biden bitches. What do you guys think about these folks?
Hey, brother Short. And
honestly,
ladies, I would love to hear what your
I
thoughts
feel
are.
as though
Hold on 1 second.
you're kind of rounding us up, right? All of these WASIs and women who have said that what's going on is not something that we want to participate in a big way. And now that we've got this space, a safe space, I guess, maybe we can start to come up with some sort of plan of attack, I guess. And I know people are going to say, well, why are you talking about plans on these? They're listening to pretty much anything we say, anywhere we're saying it, unless we're going to be in person. So since that's the case, I think that, some very real things that we could start doing, if you haven't already started doing, is tweeting these people, tweeting them your discontent and your, the issues that you have. The least they can do is block you, but at least at that point, that they're paying attention to you, and they don't want people to pay attention to what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I've been blocked a bunch of times. The Congressional Black Caucus has blocked me. There's a couple senators.
What about Simone Sanders? Somebody needs to tell her that she and Magic Johnson needs to make her his son. She's more man than his boy is, and she looks just like him. I wrote Simone. I think she blocked me, and I also wrote Donna Brazile, who looks like the former Georgetown Hoya. Remember John Thompson, where the Hoyas went to the championship? She looks just like John Thompson. She does, and I'm serious. We need to write them, and also, and don't limit it to women. Hold on, I don't like no coons. I'm a coon buster. Please go off on Andrew Gillum. I mean, this man now has a story that somebody tricked him into getting into that hotel room with his clothes off. I'm trying to think, if they had to trick you to get you into the hotel room and get your clothes off, how did you know how to get back to your car? You wouldn't have known. Where would you have? You wouldn't have known where your damn car was if they had taken you. You would have been so disoriented. You were able to get yourself back together, though you forgot to clean up the dookie that you left in the sheets. And yes, he did. And some was on the floor too. I remember the picture. I mean, people pick up after their dogs, but he left the dookie on the hotel floor. I guess the staff is supposed to clean it up. I thought he cared about working class people. They're all bringing these bastards out online. You have my permission. Please go after Bakari Sellers. He's a distant cousin of mine. Mess over him first. I mean, in fact, when you have the revolutionary movement, like in China and other places, sometimes you have to say, I love my family, but they violated the revolution. I can't stand with them. Please mess with Bakari for me personally. I mean, tell him Maurice Sellers' grandson sent your ass. He needs to get taught a lesson. We got to go after Clyburn. That's the worst Negro spiritual. Oh my God, he's so terrible. Why can't he have a stroke? I mean, if he was vaccinated, he must have had the good shit. Okay. He must have not had no mRNA. Anyway.
You said that Clyburn looked like who, Randy?
He's the worst Negro spiritual ever.
No. Who does he favor?
He looks like Uncle Ruckus got a donated eyeball from the IDF taken from a Palestinian.
Oh my gosh.
He does look like Uncle Ruckus. He does. And please, ladies, I want one promise. Please don't support Michelle Obama if they trot her mannish ass out. In fact, the biggest election Michelle Obama can win for me is for her to prove definitively to me that she's not a hermaphrodite. That's a shoot. She's got my vote. If she can prove that she's 100% female, I'll vote for Michelle. Just to make up for all the jokes and shit I've said about her. You know what I'm saying?
We,
I mean, I'm serious. I'm not a voyeur, but I really do want to know what's up that dress. At this point, I'm tired. Shit, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not the only person who out here also wants to know if Michelle is not a hermaphrodite for real. I believe that she's at least half a woman, but it'd be nice if it's 100%. You know how the song in church is saying 99.5 won't do. 99.5% woman won't do, Michelle. You need to be 100%. Okay, so I would consider her candidacy if I know for certain that she's not intersex. I didn't say she was. But the same way Kevin Samuels laid down his life for us. Oh, God bless Kevin Samuels. Oh, let me take out my blessed. Let me take out my blessed frankincense and bless. I said Kevin Samuels' name. Let me bless myself.
Can you give him a shake of the tambourine as
Hold on,
well?
I have to put a K on my forehead. That's a special K for Kevin. Kevin. I mean, so yes, I put. Yeah, this is my.
Brother
You know
Short,
what?
my
WASI, you gotta do something. You gotta make her do a sister on the WASI.
Yes,
I,
Kevin
I,
Samuels.
I just want to say that Michelle Obama, the same way that Kevin Samuels laid his life down for us patriarchs, so the black manhood would have life and have salvation. Joan Rivers laid her life down to tell us about Michelle and Barack, and so an honorary Betty Shabazz, Coretta Scott King, Ida B. Wells a letter is in the mail to the family of Joan Rivers. Okay, what were you saying, Chef C? We kept cutting you off here. I'm gonna shut my mic off for a minute.
No, I just wanted to know what the ladies. I wanted to know what the ladies thought about the chick.
I love Chef C's sound effects.
Okay.
Give us some sound effects.
Okay.
Speeds. I wanted to know what everybody thought, particularly the ladies, about the sister.
Hey. Mute.
Who got her pipes checked, her oil changed in New Jersey. She got an oil change. She got a tune-up in New Jersey. Did you hear about the lady getting a tune-up in New Jersey by the mechanic?
Okay, so you ladies didn't hear about the woman whose foot was on the gas pedal when she's getting screwed by the mechanic in the garage and they died from carbon monoxide poisoning? Well, so nobody knows about that. Well, my thing is, of course, at least she went out with the bang. And the thing is, I'm wondering, at least, she came in, she went at the same time. So that's an economy. I don't know. But anyway, I guess maybe the sisters didn't know about that. So Chef, they don't know about that. But this woman was screwing in the garage, I'm trying to think,
I guess he saw what was under the hood.
Well, or maybe if he was singing, if humping you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Right. But, they must have turned the ignition on or something and gassed themselves. I tell you something, as long as, if they were GCP, they would have called that a anti-Semitic conspiracy because of the gas. So,
man, come on.
I'm just saying.
No, I hadn't heard about that. What city did you say that was?
I think it was suburban Newark.
Huh.
Yeah, she was cheating on her husband. See, what she did was she used her Vagina Express card instead of paying the man cash. The vagina was the first legal tender as well as the first Beazle and the first stay-at-home business. And well, it is. And actually it is, and it's sort of like a Winnebago. You can take it wherever you go, and so
COD, coach on delivery,
or come on delivery. So okay, back to Biden, people. How are you guys feeling? Ladies, come on now. Ashira, Black Rose, what is your thoughts? You're down in Texas. How are you feeling about Biden? And are you going to vote for Biden because you know he's black woman's best friend?
I have never voted for Biden, nor did I vote for Hillary Clinton.
Mhm.
So, no.
Well, okay.
Absolutely.
Well, so since you're so smart, did you vote for Obama?
You know what? I have to say I did vote for Obama both times.
Damn.
But yes, I did. Oh my God, I was cooning. Oh my God, I was.
Say it ain't so.
But
Say
I
it ain't
came
so.
to the realization, of course, shortly after that second term, a few months in, I was like, ooh, we've been had. We've been bamboozled.
Oh, Obama is so
Yes, sir.
terrible.
Oh
Obama
my
is
goodness,
so terrible. I don't know what
the
to.
worst. And why won't they just go away? I never seen anybody that linger like them. Just linger. Go away. You want to make movies and shit? Go. It's like enough. We had 8 fucking years of you and Michael. So I mean, go on somewhere, please.
Now, let me see. I have a question because there are a bunch of people up here.
Okay. What's the question?
You're a friend of mine. Do you think I'm into white women?
No.
Okay.
I'm
So
glad you addressed that because I was going to ask you, what the hell is that about? What makes her think that? Or is he just joking?
Well, maybe he's
just joking.
Well, if he's joking, it's fine. It's as friends maybe, but I don't even try to make a lot of friends that are not black. My experience is there's not a lot of respect between different groups in this country, unfortunately, or fortunately. So I don't make it my business to have large numbers of friends that are different from. I mean, I can get along with anyone, but I don't try. I don't go out of the way. So, um, God, uh, not something I'm trying to do. So I, 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 I can't. I don't think I can get all of my friends in a particular category that he's describing on one hand. So, the Bible says, "From the wealth of the heart, the mouth speaks." So I have to assume that this gentleman is into white females, and they're projecting that onto me. That's fine. That's their business. And if I did, it would be my damn business. But I don't know. I can just say to you what I like most.
He wants a little pink tone.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people like that. But I prefer, as I said, I kind of like my own group, my own at least, or people similar, like most people. And I'll be very direct with you. It's never been something I was as as recently as about maybe 5 o'clock today. I got propositioned. I get propositioned a lot, as all of we black men do on social media, by women that are of white and other types. I know you know that's true, Chef. And that probably happens to you, Brother Q, and everybody else. Black men are constantly accosted by women and other groups. Constantly. Is that true, Chef? See, constantly bugged by.
I'm a God fearing man. I keep my head down. I don't start no trouble.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you don't get approached.
Listen, I stay clear, man.
So
I'm
that
like I'm like a slave. I'm like a slave, Dr.
right,
Short.
but that's so. What he's saying is, he basically turns everything down, so doesn't accept. And so someone wrote me today, and I get right, and I just block all of those things. Almost, I'd say, practically 100% of anybody. It's not interesting. As I said, I am a keen have a keen interest in justice and the knowledge of my own people and my family. So, as a result, I'm very interested in the perpetuation of people like myself. That doesn't mean I'm against other people having children. I just would like um, people to be more or less like myself. You can't do that running after people in other groups. Uh, that would be too much for me. And I will say one other thing, and I'll leave it there. My personal understanding and experience with a lot of people who come up in Western societies is that there is a conditioned great degree of disrespect for black people that a lot of people come up with, that they're both conscious and unconscious of. I don't have the patience to school someone or educate someone on how to treat me. That's not interesting at all. In fact, that's offensive. So, can you imagine somebody getting me a Ku Klux Klan Halloween costume? And she could be the sweetest Karen of all times. And you got me a Hitler costume for Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, for Halloween. Um, that would be crazy. It's the same way, my friend. Remember the guy that was in Missouri, Black Rose? Remember the one that shot himself in the head over his white wife? He had like 4 or 5 kids with a white wife, and the white wife's family was totally racist. And she was trying to teach the kids that the Confederacy was good, and da 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 da. And ultimately, she tried to shoot him, and when he fought her, he broke her nose, and she made a video of her having sex with some black dude to get back at him, and ultimately he got arrested, this, that, and the other, and he killed himself over the white lady. He did. He shot himself in the head, and I'm not remembering his name, but it's been no more than. Remember the guy, True Power is Mine, TPIM. He still has a YouTube channel. He shot himself over the lady, and then he was trying to tell me he didn't love the woman. I says, no, you've had 4 or 5 children with her. You have to feel something, my friend. What do you mean you don't love? You got 5 kids with this lady. You love her. Now, what you need to be honest about is that you picked a piece of shit white woman, and you've made these kids with her, and that's the real deal. Don't tell me you don't love her. Tell me that you are disappointed in her. And I says, you're not going to do to me what a lot of fake black men do. You're going to say all this racial stuff, or that you think I agree with, to try to reassure me that you're on the same page as me. I've never asked you to do that. Okay. The fact that you have 5 children with this lady lets me know where you stand. I'm not mad at you. And so I never asked you whether you were with the white woman or not. I knew you were with the white woman the first time I talked to you. I never
They
said.
have a different energy.
Yeah, they do. And by the way, and I'll tell you, the greatest turnoff of all for me are black women that worship white men. If anybody's like it out there, please don't contact me. It isn't that you can't like a white man, that's not how it is, but the fact that they worship white men,
Yeah.
those kind of women are they're disgusting. And the black men that worship white women, you can tell that they worship them. I'm not saying that there aren't good people. Okay, my my 3 times great grandfather married a German woman. So that's what my grandmother.
One of
But
my
but you know, that's him. That's not me.
Yeah, one of my uncle's wife is white, and we love her. We go over to that house.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
family.
But as I
So
said,
it's nothing about that.
I
all.
like being who and what I am. I don't want to be anything else, nor do I want my children to be anything else. So the dumbest thing I could do is get someone in a group that's in conflict with mine and start a family. So anybody that would think that is a person that thinks with their penis. And there are a lot of black men whose penis is their GPS, their spiritual GPS. That's why they're in trouble with God. It's their political GPS. That's why we have no political power. It's their economic GPS. That's why we're broke. If you put your penis as your personal compass, you are a failure as a man. Okay, now, here's what we got to do. Because this is two, I would like for you, Sister Eve, and these other sisters to covenant that we will try to pick on Friday evenings, even if it's just for a few minutes, that you sisters begin to talk to each other. This, how do I feel about women who worship Obama? They're fag hags. That's my answer. You sisters can come together, and we patriarchs will work with and for you. Sister Eve, you have Black Rose. The same way we have this new united black media matrix must also include an apparatus that empowers the good, righteous black women, the good kind, need our support, and y'all need to be visible such that certain atrocities never occur again or anymore to any single individual that is in this collective conversation or anyone else. That nobody can victimize, humiliate, or exploit our sisters, and there not be a collective response. Not only that, that we interconnect and interface around the country. My sisters in Chicago will talk to the sisters on the East Coast and the Gulf Coast, where Sister Black Rose is. We will come together and bring out the issues. We have the capacity. You sisters have the capacity to do this. And believe it or not, we brothers will support you. I was hoping for Sister Miriam. I'm going to get her. Sister Temple's daughter was sick, but that's okay. We just need to put together something and bring, and the ladies need to understand that they've got to come forward on their issue and their issues, and part of your issues are our issues. We are working together, not against each other. We are a oxen team. We're not trying to drag you, and we're not trying to leave you. We must figure out ways in which we can overcome the tremendous and horrific legacy of feministic and fagonistic bigotry in our community. Oh, I see somebody down here. Who is Queenie? Who's Queenie? Okay, I don't.
See if that's Janet.
Oh my. We have a. Is that. I don't know if I. Hello, can you hear us? You've been brought in. I don't know if they know
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, so now we have someone from Chicago. And by the way, Sister Eve, this is a person that I wanted you to meet. She is the author and the creator of a character called Reverend Bigamy. Reverend Bigamy is a no good, fuck up liar, Negro preacher grifter, manipulator, cult type person. And they have so much experience. In fact, um, Sister Sister Sheldon, could you please, if you could for a minute, just give us who are not in the Midwest some a little bit of your experience of dealing with the illegal population that you're dealing with in suburban Chicago?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. I've been going in and out. I'm still sort of working. However, I was listening in. The illegal population regarding the preachers.
No, not the preachers, but what has the illegal invasion, what do you see? You're on the front lines in Chicago. What do you, as a WASI, see these illegals are doing?
Committing lots of crimes, pushing us out in the sense that our tax dollars are paying for their stay here in Chicagoland, sucking up the resources, um, really working the 911 system.
Hmm.
I stay out in the outer areas, what people would call the suburban areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen anything or heard anything like it before in my life. The police sirens and paramedics are going all day long. I see lots of accidents. I hear of lots of robberies. The neighborhoods are becoming trashy.
Hmm.
They open special food giveaways for them. And I know some homeless people that tell me, and they've cammed this. Several have told me, and not just homeless people, people that stand in line to get food because they cannot afford to feed themselves because prices are so high. And of course, you know about the job situations, and these people are getting welfare, food stamps, and far more than a family of their size would get if they would allow them to get it. The legals, the residents, the black people here, for the most part.
Hmm. Let me ask you a question. Because our show topic is are you still a ride or die for Joe Biden? How do you feel about Joe Biden?
I don't feel about him. I didn't vote for him, and I never will.
Mm-hmm. What do you
I
think?
don't have a lot of love, or maybe any, for the Democrats.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're a black woman.
Yes, I
You're
am.
supposed to be for the Democrats. Why are
Yes, I
you?
am.
Chicago's a Democratic city where you grew
Yes,
up.
it is.
Why are you saying, okay, look, the way that we're told is Donald Trump is the Antichrist. He's just the greatest enemy of black people of all times. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Why do you disagree? Why is Donald Trump not a monster?
Well, it's not so much about Donald Trump. He just might be the one to help us. However, it's more about the Democrats, the demon rats, because they've been um saying what they're going to do since World War II, and they haven't done it yet.
Hmm.
And we're going down, 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 getting pushed out and over and under. And they're still crying, I'm going to help the blacks. I'm going to help the poor.
But you don't see them
And
helping them, do
I
you?
have not seen any
Let me
help
let
come
me
from
ask you
them
another.
ever.
Let me ask you a question. You have 8 natural children and as many as
Yes.
24 children you've raised as a total. Do you have any hope for their future with the way Biden has the country?
No, I don't.
Why not?
And I'm not so much
political as I used to be. However, everybody has to be some type of political. Politics is local. It starts where you are, and the way the world is going now, the way that things are shifting, the way that they're making them go, releasing this COVID. Uh, we're still getting treated bad as Black women, Black people. I'm not going to say people of color. We're still being disrespected.
Mhm.
And the dream that Dr. Martin Luther King said that he had for us, it's been trampled.
I have a question. Do you feel
Yes.
safe with all these illegal men?
No, it is not safe.
Are you saying that?
It is not safe when I see a bunch of Corona and Modelo bottles all over the streets, and I've never seen this before. We could throw trash down, and we wouldn't dare to do it when I was growing up, and even up until recently, until before COVID, and we would get ticketed for that.
Mhm. I have a
We wouldn't
question.
dare do that. We didn't grow up like that.
Do these people ever say or do anything that would make you personally feel unsafe?
And they do things that make me feel unsafe. And I've had a few conversations and listened in on a few conversations that, yes, it would make me feel unsafe, but I try not to worry about it.
Mhm. Let me ask you another question. Who do you think is going to win in 2024 in your area of Chicago? If you talk to other Black people, that's an area that's like almost 100% Democratic. Do you think that
Yes,
that's
you
true?
know, everybody's for the Democrats.
Is that still the case, or do you think?
Yes,
Okay. Do you think that's a good thing that people are just for the Democrats?
it's a good thing for them.
Okay, but collectively.
Oh, no. They don't know any better. They're brainwashed and trained to be Democrats, and they think that that's best for them.
Mhm.
They can't look back over the time and the records and the numbers and see that we've lived better actually under the Republican administrations.
Mhm. Now
We have.
let me ask you, the government of Illinois that has brought in all the illegals that
There's
have
no noise in Illinois.
giving all the schools and taking the kids out of the
I'm just
schools.
joking, but that's what they say.
Am I correct in saying all the bad things that are happening in Illinois, the blacks being run out of their neighborhoods, the stores being looted, the schools being
Gang
turned,
banging
all of
with
this?
the Venezuelans and Mexicans. Oh, and by
Who's
the way, they hate each other.
who's in charge of the government where all this is happening? Is it racist white Republicans,
Yes,
or is it racist white Democrats?
racist white Democrats.
So it's not racist white Republicans doing this
Oh,
to you.
no. Now, you are aware that the governor of Illinois is Republican, and he ran under a Democratic ticket because that's how he can win here, and that's what people do. It was the best way for him to win. And, but for the most part, yes, the Democrats are controlling everything.
Do you sometimes feel like the Democrats favor gays, illegals,
All the
Latinos
time,
over black people?
I question them. I talk to them. I'm surrounded by them. They're in my family. They're associates. They get in conversations with me when I go to the store. They automatically think I'm a Democrat, so they start talking this Democratic stuff, and I listen to them.
Mhm.
And I don't need to take any more polls.
Okay.
I don't need any more evidence.
Let me ask you another question. How do people feel about Obama in Chicago?
A lot of people love him and admire him. And
Okay.
it's a lot of Black people that love and admire him. And a lot of white people love and admire him.
Hmm.
And there are some people that I had conversations with that said, oh, he didn't do anything for us. but there are certain people that say that.
Okay, now you live in the suburbs. Do you think the people in the inner city of Chicago feel the same way about Obama?
Oh, that's basically who I'm talking about.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they
Because
older?
people judge things
Are
by
these
the inner city
are they
thought.
are they older or younger? These people who like.
They're all different ages.
Mm-hmm. All right.
They're all for Obama, but there are several that are not.
Okay. How do they feel about Biden?
They love him.
Wow. How do they feel about this Barbara Jordan looking mayor that you've got now?
They love him.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And see, I'm not under the Cook County politics. I don't live in Cook County.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Chicago, Cook County. But yes, they love him.
Hmm. Well, I'm going to stop there for a second. Sister Eve, do you have any questions for the mother, surrogate mother of 16 and the biological mother of 8? And how do you feel as a mother of 5 for a mother of 8 plus 16 to say, I don't see a future?
Honestly, it's kind of bleak, right? But I guess I understand why someone would feel like that. But I think right now, what I've been trying to look at it as, well, I've been looking at it like I don't want them to have to fight this fight at all in any capacity. And they're having to fight it right now, being alive, and the fact that we don't have what's owed to us. So, sure, no future if it means that we haven't gotten what's owed to us, because then I guess I would have failed at what I'm talking about doing. So I guess I get that, but I'm not there yet, you know?
Speaking of that, Sister Eve, it's after 11. You've got to wake up and feed 7 people in the morning, and I have Sabbath tomorrow. We need to do a commercial, and we're going to stop here, and we're going to keep coming back. And I want everybody to know on my book club channel that it isn't that I won't and not doing books anymore. We are trying to develop. We've got Pat Talk, we got the men talking, and now we've got WASI Speak. And I now need to pivot back to the books. But we wanted to have a variety of things and a variety of speakers and guests so it doesn't get boring or stale, because I have yet another show to launch, which is a short report. So I have many things I want to do so it doesn't become boring to me or to you or anyone else. And in a nutshell, this collaboration that you will see, we have a new partner. Our affiliate is Thorough Black Talk in New York, Sister Keisha, who is a weapons expert woman who knows about shooting. We are functioning as the new United Black Media to try to do what other people who have huge platforms seem to refuse to do. And we are trying to develop so in such a way when there is a situation like our young girls getting killed in combat, we can put that topic out before a few thousand people. My platform is small. We have a lot of people who have decent sized platforms. I'm looking to have a partner in North Carolina, and eventually we're going to have one day maybe 20 or 30 platforms cooperating together to share information, because if Sister Eve gets a few hundred on her Twitter, I'm not upset. If I get a few hundred, I'm not, and if I could do something with Brother Quentin, we can all help raise each other's ability to impact a community or people that are listening to us. We have Sister Black Rose, who I used to do social media with. We want to bring this back in so we can hear voices, and instead of complaining about what we don't see, because Sexy Red doesn't represent the Black women that I know. It makes me angry. The Black men I know are not like this. I can't stand it. I'll do anything to replace it. So that's why I'm calling all my friends. They're all lovely women to bring that can think and they can drop babies and still look years younger. That includes Sister Isla too, who looks about 20 to 25 years younger than her actual age. Sister Eve has had 5 kids and looks 15 to 20 years younger than what she is. And Sister Janet's had 8. She's kicked out 8 and looks 20 years younger than what she is. And they're all intelligent. They all think. They all travel. They all have some education and professional experience. And those are the black women I know. These skanky folks with tattoos on their eyeballs and those Borden cow septum rings. That shit, I don't know what. Damn it. This is a violation of my understanding of what womanhood and femininity, at least if it isn't what it should be. So this is why this is happening. And of course, this is the Angry Black Men's Book Club. And of course, our partners, of course, now are Madam Minister of Space, Sister Eve, Black Rose, Sister Isla, Let's Talk to Brother Q, uh, Lone Wolf Firearms, as well as on their necks. And of course, the Negro Knights. We have a range of people, so we want to have this sooner or later to have cooperatives in various places. And I left out Sister Sean of Sister Speak, a show I helped launch for black women. The myth is I don't like sisters. No, if you knew me, I spent a lot of time with sisters. I had a lot of people surprised. You have so many women friends. Well, if you actually like women, you can be around them. If you like having sex with women only, you can't stand them when you're not on top of them. There's a difference. All right. I want all of you to like this channel. I want you to add one another. I want you to look at the different platforms. I want you to subscribe, like, share, and of course, please donate. Sister Eve, I think we always circulate each other's donation links. You can find me at practically any point. You can email me at WRandyShort@gmail.com. I correspond with certain people if it's not stupid. Um, on top of that, if you wish to donate, we have a Patreon, which is Dr. Randy Short. I have a Cash App, which is $ Dr. Randy Short. I have a Zelle and a PayPal, which is my email, WRandyShort@gmail, and whatever you want to do. Because whenever people donate to our channels, we use that to help each other. So Sister Eve knows, Sister Isla knows, Brother Quentin knows, Brother Chef knows. When we call one another, we help one another. It's either a contact, or it's a book, or it's information to raise the profile of what everybody's doing. If you know intelligent people with something to say, we will try to give air or space for them to get their thoughts out. We need each other, and symbiotically, we can help each other. So what you see is what you get. I think I've met Sister Isla. I know I've met Sister Isla. I've met Sister Shira. I've not met Quentin, but I have met Sister Eve. I know Janet. What you see is what you get. I'm not different over the computer than if you met me in person. I think Sister Janet would agree, who's wonderful, one of the people I absolutely love, one of my favorite women of all times. What you see is what you get. I'm not trying to be anybody I'm not. And I want to welcome people that we're trying to create a space where we can talk to each other about serious things, as well have some fun and some levity, right? And we do what we can. And by the way, Sister Eve, thank you so much for helping. We're going to work together. We're not going to let anybody attack anyone in our network. Let me just say this. If you fuck with Eve, you fucked with me. If you mess with Sister Isla, you've attacked me. If you attack Sister Jade, you've attacked me. If you attack Quentin, you've attacked me. If you attack Chef, if you mess with us, we all swarm on you.
That's real, Dr. Short. I always appreciate your support and the knowledge that I get when you are speaking on these topics. I'm very excited about the WASI Nation. I don't even know if I really thought that I'd ever say that out loud, but
WASI Nation.
On the same time, I do think it's past time for us to put some fire up under these other bitches, right? Because they're too comfortable.
And we have to go after the fagonists. And I'm telling you, sisters, raise the bar. If I were a woman, I would never screw a man whose pants sagged. If I had to make Viagra smoothies for a dude with a smaller dick who wore a belt, that's what I'd do. I would never be with the man who didn't come out of the house looking presentable. I would never want a dude who had clear nail polish on. Sisters, if you want men to be better, demand more than him having a six-figure income. Demand that he have character, and you too bring to the table character, bring integrity, bring dignity. Be in shape, okay? You know, if your titty knows your big toenail, there's a problem. You're not being abused if your titty nipple and your toenail, are kissing. We need to be better. We need to dress better, look better. Part of how we're being enslaved and destroyed is our being degraded. When they would put people in concentration camps, they wouldn't let people dress nicely. They would, that's part of the destruction of a people, is to ruin their aesthetics. When people were enslaved, they had what were called sumptuary laws. They had laws against black women looking good. It made white women feel bad to see a slave look better, have better clothing than them. They would sometimes whip or punish someone. Your slaves look too good. Now they don't have to do it like that. They can get us to look raggedy and dirty and tell us that it's hip or it's cool. Because I know working in corporate America, people used to hate me when I would go to work dressed very nicely. I had hatred and jealousy. What are they worried about me coming to work looking nice for? Well, a bunch of them, I'll say, they were frumpy, unattractive GCPs. I'm a good looking black man that looked decent in my clothing. And it made them feel ugly. So they complain about me coming to work looking professional. They got more money, but you have to understand, money doesn't buy everything. And that's the same thing with a relationship. Just because the man has a lot of money doesn't mean he has a lot of love or a lot of character or a lot of decency. They have a lot of women running after bags. And I'm not talking about tea bags, I'm talking about the money bag. And I'm telling you, when you run after a man for what he has, if you think that a hoe with a good body can be difficult, a man that thinks that he's rich sees women as basically discount chess pieces that he can move around the board at will. It's better to get a man with dignity and character, integrity, and decency. That is better than for him just to have a bag. Because if that money's not yours, it's simply a bauble for him to play with you on. In fact, a man with a bag that's being chased by a woman who wants his bag is playing the same game that the stripper does with the man in the strip club. It's teasing, but not delivering. I'm going to stop here by saying, when we talk again, everybody out here needs to ask how many of the 30, 40, 50, or 120 wounded people in Iraq, Syria, and Jordan are black, and inside of that, how many of them are black women, and what are their ages? We should know this. Somebody knows a member of Congress. Somebody knows somebody that can demand an answer to it. We should know. We are more powerful. We are so powerful until I'd say 15 to 20% of the drugs in the world are dumped in our community to keep us bombed out. We must access our spiritual power, and that begins with having a relationship with God. I don't care if there's an atheist here, go to hell, which you are going if you don't know God. We need God. We need each other. We need reparations. We need families. We need men and women. We need babies. We need elders. With that, I'm going to check out. God bless everybody. Love yourself and then love humanity. Love humanity enough to correct and check humanity, irrespective of the melanin count. A trifling, no good, integrity lacking, atheistical, amoral black person is as deadly to us as 100,000 Klansmen. We absolutely must raise our level of integrity, dignity, self respect, and our word needs to be our bond with each other. If a handful of us cooperate together, our history has shown all of our organizations and movements have always been an absolute minority of black people who had some integrity and some decency and some dignity and united purpose, have changed the whole world. Why not us? Let us be the Ida B. Wells, the Fannie Lou Hamers, the Constance Baker Motleys, the Thurgood Marshalls, the Martin Luther Kings, the Nat Turners, the Henry Highland Garnetts, the Fannie Pleasants. It's our duty to fill those shoes. And tomorrow and tomorrow's tomorrow isn't promised to us if we don't seize the time now. I'm Dr. Randy Short on behalf of the Angry Black Men's Book Club, on behalf of my sister Eve, on behalf of the New United Black Media Matrix. I wish you all a blessed night and a blessed Sabbath tomorrow. If you happen to be partially religious, I encourage you to check out the Salt Ministry. I hope to have a sermon tomorrow for God's message to the Black American people. Be there. Take care. Good night. Oh, Sister Eve, may your angels and that wonderful man that you have, let him know that he's my hero. And I'd love to have a show with him. So, anyway, I'm going to let everybody go. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Jan.